I will be leaving shortly. I do not know if I will return. It is possible they could remove me from Babylon 5 as well.
Why would they do that?
Look at me, Lanier.
Being asked to serve on the council is a matter of soul, not of flesh. The change that you've gone through, it shouldn't matter.
But it does, Lanier. I made a decision, and now I must face the consequences.
Welcome back.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
And this is
We's all Kosh.
a Babylon 5 rewatch. We done gone watch some Babylon 5. It's been a long time since I have done an entire episode in my native accent. I think I should
Native?
really roll it out.
Nah, you're...
I lived down there for way longer than I lived up here.
Well, yeah, but where were you first?
Well, yeah, but you know what's really funny is because I'm culturally Southern, but I would say more ethnically Midwestern.
We're both ethnically Midwestern.
I'm a child of two worlds, is what I'm saying. I'll call it soda, but then I'll go, no, yeah, no. Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, somebody put the Midwestern.
Let me just squeeze right by you there.
The Midwestern ABCs, and it was the no, yeah, no's. Which I think if you're from the Midwest of the American country, the U.S. of America, there's the no, yeah, no's. There's yes, which is, or no, which is yeah, no. And then there's yes, which is no, yeah. And then there's maybe, which is yeah, no, yeah. And then there's no, but maybe. It's just like, no, yeah, no. There's just, you know, you think English can't be that hard to learn. And then you dissect it for 2 seconds and you're like, oh my God, this would be the hardest language.
Yeah, to not
have
learned natively.
I'm going to drop the Southern. I swear to God. Maybe.
I think it's going to keep
It's just
sneaking
keep
out.
popping in. It's because I got my soda, not pop, soda with Shankies in it. Oh my God. We used to do drunk episodes all the time. And now we're old and decrepit and our livers are old and decrepit, so we don't do them as much anymore. But I feel like we should bring the tradition back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I know, especially since we're in the land of liberated liquor.
I know. When we lived where we lived before, all the liquor was state controlled. And so you had to buy it from state-run facilities.
Or at least state franchised.
Yeah. And now where we live, you can get it at Costco, which means you can get Costco-sized liquor. Oh, my God. It was a revelation. Let me tell you. Okay. All right. I promised I would drop it, and then I went right back into it. Little do you know, this takes concentration. Midwestern neutral takes effort. Okay.
You're having some friction with your context switching.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. So we watched season 2, episode 11.
10.
11. Well, just because you wrote it on the top of your paper in pencil, don't make it true. I wrote 11, and I am the arbiter of truth.
Yeah, I guess you do the prep.
All alone in the night. You're like, I love how you held that up as evidence. Look, I wrote it on my paper.
I wrote it down when I was in a more coherent state of mind. When I had all the pieces held together.
So for like 10 minutes on Tuesday.
Yeah.
God, you're the one of us that has a full-time job.
But my skill set is in solving novel problems. So a loose attachment to the status quo is
That is
extremely valuable.
That is fair. I love how you're fact-checking me right now. Like, I don't look all this shit up before we start. All Alone in the Night is episode...
Up here. Oh, that's season 3.
Yeah, we're not in season 3 yet.
Yeah, I miscounted.
Mm-hmm.
It was 10 was Gropos.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Thank you.
We watched season 2, episode 11, All Alone in the Night, which originally aired 15th of February, 1995.
So was this return after Christmas break? Or was Gropos return?
Oh no,
after
we've had
Christmas
the
break?
7th. We've been going since January.
Oh yeah, I guess it's weekly.
Yeah. Remember, there were like 7 episodes before the break. So 8, 9, 10, 11, and...
Yeah, Race Through Dark Places was in January.
Yeah.
January 25th.
Correct. This one was written by JMS. It was directed by Mario DiLeoFirst. DiLeo. And it takes place July 22/59 with a Psy rating of 8.33.
Hey, not bad.
So it has a much higher rating than Gropos, which is fair. Entirely fair. So Nick Corey is the guy who plays Lieutenant Carlos Ramirez. If you look him up now, he goes by Jesus Garcia. So if you're like, wow, I really want to look up his career, you can't find him under Nick Corey. You have to go JSU Garcia.
Oh.
Jesus Garcia. And he also played in Predator 2. He was Anthony in Vampire in Brooklyn, which is the one with Eddie Murphy where he's a vampire.
Oh, God.
Have we ever watched that one? We need to watch that one.
I'm
good.
pretty sure.
He was Francisco
I've seen
d'Anconia in the Atlas Shrugged Part 1 movie and will personally be remembered by me as the man with the worst death scene I have ever seen in my entire life. I can't.
In this show?
I'm thinking about it now, and it's
Ramirez's death scene?
Yes, yeah, because he literally goes, "Hey, Doc." He looks over and then he goes, huh. And his head falls to the side and his mouth opens like, I die. It's the worst. It's so fucking bad. I couldn't die. I saw it and it totally broke me out of how dramatic that moment is supposed to be because it is so bad. Okay, I've recovered. Now I'm ready to continue. Marshall Teague is the guy who plays the Narn. He was the Ikaran war machine from way back in season 1. The one where, where Dr. Franklin's buddy snuck some biological material onto Babylon 5 and was like, oh yeah, no, I went through quarantine. It's fine. Yeah, no, yeah, I went through quarantine.
I totally did not kill
I murdered fucking no
officer.
one. Well, apparently that guy didn't just turn into an Ikaran war machine. He also turned into an Narn.
He reincarnated. Somebody cast reincarnate.
Later, this
and he got turned into a different race.
This Narn's going to get a name. And he's going to come back. Or at least he comes back as a Narn. And canonically, everybody's like, they're the same Narn.
It's the same guy.
And his name is Talon.
Okay.
He's in 3 episodes of The Fall Guy, the TV show. He was in a TV show called Werewolf, the TV series, which I now wish to find and watch.
Werewolf, the TV series.
He was in Armageddon, the movie. The movie Armageddon.
Oh.
Yeah. And he was in 8 episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger. He was in 8 episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger. But he was also, and this is notable, in the Walker, Texas Ranger made-for-TV movie Trial by Fire. He was in a TV series called Seymour, the Unfortunate Vampire from 2017. And the description kind of reminds me a little bit of like Fred the Vampire Accountant. I loves the good vampire show or TV show that isn't like, I am evil and I'm wealthy and I want to fuck all the ladies and the ladies all want to fuck me. They're just like, hey, I wasn't a great dude. And then I got turned into a vampire and it turns out it doesn't make you a great dude. So I am for eternity who I was. I love those.
It did not change me as a person.
They're like my favorite. I like them a lot. And then he reprised his role in a movie made based on Seymour the Unfortunate Vampire, which kind of looks like a reboot/remake from 2024. So very recently.
All right. Still going.
Robin Sachs is Hedron, and he's the guy, we've seen him before. He's the one who's the only one who talks to Delenn when she goes in to talk to the Grey Council.
Yeah.
And she starts delivering her lines and she's like, where is everybody? And then he pops up and he's like, yeah, they're
Other
not
than Naroon,
here.
Who insults her.
Well, that's Hedron, the guy who actually talks to her and is like, yeah, they didn't feel like talking to you because they don't recognize you as worthy of talking to anymore.
I mean,
that guy?
Naroon felt like saying some things to her.
Well, also him, but that's later. That's the second time. But the first guy, of course, he was in Walker, Texas Ranger, because who wasn't? He's been on the show before as a couple of different things, but he died.
Is Walker, Texas Ranger the American Forever Knight?
I resent everything in that statement. I resemble that remark.
You resemble?
It's from a show.
Oh,
I don't know what it's from. Just every time I say the word resent, the phrase "I resemble that remark" pops into my head. I don't exactly know where it's from, so we looked it up, and it turns out it's one of those.
It's
phrases.
been around a long time.
One of those phrases I got from my ridiculously
commonly
old parents.
attributed to Jimmy Durante,
Okay.
American comedian and actor, born in February 10th, 1893.
I feel like right here is where I should insert that I have a lot of slang from like late 1800s, early 1900s, because my mother was the youngest daughter I am the youngest daughter of a youngest daughter. So by the time I was born, my grandmother was already in her 70s. She lived through the Great Depression. That's how old my grandparents
Rachel's
were.
mother is only 6 years younger than my grandmother.
Right.
I am the oldest child of an oldest child, and I married Rachel, the youngest daughter of a youngest daughter.
who all had kids in like 40. Like if you're 40 and then your kids have kids at 40, then your grandparents are fucking old, okay?
Yeah.
And so growing up, a couch wasn't a couch, it was a Davenport. And if you hurt yourself by doing a thing that it was your fault and it hurt you, you were hoisted by your own petard. Matt had never heard got your goat. Just have a whole host of them. Well, I resemble that remark, apparently falls into that category. He died of a heart attack at 62. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Robin Sachs. He was like discovered.
I hope I do not resemble that remark.
I found like a line that was like, when they found his body, they believed he had died of a heart attack. And then I was like, what? Wait, what? And so I spent some time trying to be like, what do you mean when you found his body? What the fuck do you mean by that? And I couldn't find anything. Everything is just like, oh yeah, he died. We think it was his heart. And I was like, what do you mean?
Bruh.
Where did you find his body though? Why is that line there somewhere?
There's a thing you can do called an autopsy.
I know. But they just said when they found his body. And I was like, what do you mean? Where was he? And nothing. I couldn't find anything. Jack Vickery, of course, is Naroon. He was also in Legacy, so we've already talked about him. Robert Foxworth is the guy who played General Haig, and we've actually already talked about him, but I just want to remind everybody that they were setting him up to have a really big role. And he ended up General Haig.
Oh, okay.
And he ended up declining the larger role so that he could be on a couple of episodes of Deep Space Nine that went nowhere.
Oof.
Yeah.
Big oof.
And I know we don't normally talk about Star Trek, but I have two things. I neglected to mention that Dr. Franklin's dad is the guy
your
from
Star Trek bias caused you,
I
drove
just
you
skip
to.
them. I just skip them.
Right.
I don't deep dive. I just go whoop, and I just scroll past because, but this was like the one where maybe I could have spent a minute because he's Dathan from Darmok, one of the most famous episodes of Star Trek.
My favorite episode of Star Trek.
Somebody commented on YouTube and I was like, oh shit, I missed it. That's Matt's favorite ever. And I told Matt and he was like, what? That's my favorite episode of Star Trek. So I got the exact reaction I thought I would get from that. And two, just a fun piece of trivia to throw in here because I loves me a Garrick and Bashir moment.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're talking about Deep Space Nine for like a hot second, I was watching an interview with the guy who plays Garrick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when he was like auditioning.
And he said, no, he'd gotten the role. He showed up on set.
Oh, this was the first episode he was on.
And he's only supposed to be a one-off character for that
Right.
episode. And he was supposed to be a spy. And he said as soon as he saw the actor who played Bashir, he was like, that was the most beautiful young man I'd ever seen in my life.
He's like, oh, Garrick wants to fuck Bashir.
Yeah, Garrick wants to fuck him. And he was like, well, I don't know anything about playing that spy shit. That's just bullshit. But I know how to play like I want to fuck somebody. And so he just did that. And I was like, I respect that so much.
I saw another thing about Garrick.
Yeah.
That his character was literally a play on Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yes, that's what he said. He goes, if you watch me in the first episode, I'm literally...
So is that his interpretation? Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
No, he said if you watch me in the first episode, that's what I was written to be. It was just like that. And then he was so popular, they made him a character. Well, sorry, Robert Foxworth, that didn't happen for you. So you could have been on Babylon 5, but you fucked it up.
God damn it!
God. And they're setting him up. You can tell. This episode is supposed to be setting him up. Although I love the end when everybody shows up in their pajamas and it turns out everyone's pajamas is like a black bodysuit. We're going to get there. All right, a bit of trivia. The aliens who kidnapped Sheridan are called the Stribes after novelist Whitley Strieber. Whitley Strieber, who famously also wrote The Hunger, which is a vampire novel.
What? He wrote The Hunger?
He wrote The Hunger. Starring
Wow.
David Bowie and Susan Sarandon, which is...
That's the one you saw at the theater, right?
Yeah, and it's sapphic as fuck. So if you're interested in an 80s movie...
Sapphic vampire movie?
Yeah, with David Bowie's in it for like a hot minute. And then it's like, oh, guys, what if hot Susan Sarandon, who's never heard of the word... bra, walked around for a while and fucked a woman, and you're like, I'm down for this entire thing. This is amazing. Well, he wrote that, and he also wrote a based on his own life book called Communion, and it's about his experiences being abducted by aliens.
Hold on, is this the origin for the movie that had
Andreas Katsulas in it? Correct. Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay, I saw the title Communion. And it rung a bell, but I didn't follow it.
Mm-hmm.
But we watched the movie.
Yeah. Oh, no, I made you watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got...
Yeah. Wow.
It's got
Okay.
Christopher Walken in it.
Yes.
Christopher Walken gets anally probed.
And then dances.
Graphically anally probed. Yeah. And then has a dance party with the alien. It's fucked up, okay? And it's almost always streaming free somewhere. I think
All right,
we watched
and
it on
that's-
Tubi.
That's Stryber.
And Andreas...
Stribes or Stryber?
Stribes are the alien. Whitley Strieber
Okay.
is the author. And it's Communion, a True Story, which also stars Andreas Katsulas. So if you want to see Andreas without makeup and a batshit, it's widely considered to be one of the weirdest alien movies.
That's
Now,
an understatement.
I don't have a horse in the do aliens come and abduct anybody?
He also
Race.
wrote a screenplay for a movie called Wolfen.
But did we forget that we already had the Greys on Babylon 5? Remember the episode where they go to the
maybe
court?
these are like a subrace of the Greys.
Well, they're supposed to look like the aliens from Communion, which there's a couple of different aliens in Communion, and I would argue they don't look anything like the aliens from Communion because the aliens from Communion look like, you know what? I can't even describe it. You just have to go watch it. You're not prepared. Whatever you think you're prepared for,
whatever you
it's
think
not
is
that.
going to happen is not
It's
what
not
happens.
that. No, maybe we should do it. Maybe we should talk about
we should cover
Communion.
it.
Yeah.
You want to cover it with Chris or just us?
No, we should get drunk and cover it for the Patreon. Anyway, Captain Sheridan misquotes Archimedes, discoverer of the principles of leverage.
Yep.
Sheridan says, give me a lever big enough and I will move the world, where Archimedes actually said, give me a lever and a place to stand and I will move the
I would
earth.
say it was not Straczynski that misquoted this. This is a misquote that happened like hundreds of years ago, and so there was a divergence in the quote attribution where someone shortened it.
There wasn't a lot that JMS said for this episode because a lot of it was either pointing out what he was referencing in the episode that's available in past episodes or being like, yeah, that's weird, isn't it? I'm not going to explain it because I'm going to explain it soon. Yeah. And that was pretty much it. But I did copy down one line because sometimes I think that you and JMS would like get along. Because he said, and this is responding directly to a question which was not copied.
Okay.
So I don't know what question he's answering, but he says, certainly there are some archetypes that always creep into a work of this sort. For are we not all young at heart? As in Jungian, as in young. Yeah.
CG Young.
Yeah. Mostly he was just addressing tie-ins to previous episodes. Oh, specifically like Sheridan's dick behavior on that episode with his BFF.
Yeah.
Remember the episode where the giant Explorer class spaceship shows up and he's being an asshole? Well, the good question is, did he always intend for that to be a deliberate departure from Sheridan's normal character as a way of assessing the loyalty of the people around him? Or did he retcon that into it because the writer fucked it up so bad he felt he needed to like clarify why Sheridan acted like a dick in that episode?
That is an elegant retcon.
If it is a retcon, well done.
Kudos.
If it isn't, hey, that was a lot of forward planning. You got me. You got me. I thought he was just being a dick. And it was a loyalty test. Can you stand me at my most asshole? Was it also a loyalty test for his friend who was on the Explorer class ship? Because his friend is like, you should totally leave this post and just come with me and let somebody else take this post.
Yeah.
You should let somebody else have this post.
Was his buddy really working for the whatever?
Yeah, the fascist underlying military
Undercurrent.
coup thing that's happening. Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a worthwhile question. We're not going to, they don't address it directly in this, but the idea is that his behavior when his friend was there was deliberate. And
interesting.
I don't care if it was a retcon. Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks for throwing me that bone. Instead of me having to be like, wow, that was a weird moment for him.
Retcon or subtle foreshadowing, either way.
Work great.
Yeah.
So we start this episode with Delenn and Lanier. And Lanier, who we haven't seen in
a while.
A long time.
Yeah.
He pops up and he's like, you wanted to see me, Delenn? Yes, you have been missing for, checks notes, 9 episodes. I don't know if it's 9. It's a long time. And she's like, yeah, I just received a message from the other members of the other members of the Grey Council. Now that we have a new leader in place. Because remember, they wanted her to be the leader. And she was like, no, I'm too busy to be the leader.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I'm not receiving that right now.
Right. They were like, okay, fine. We're going to elect another one. And they want to see her to discuss her status. And she's playing with this wind chime. And it would be fine, except we spent all of season 1 with her randomly fiddling with objects, which it turned out was a machine that would turn her into half human. So having her touch random objects around in her quarters is a choice. Because you're like, is that just wind chime?
Trigger warning.
Is that just a wind chime? Is she going to end up half Narn? And then the next episode, half Centauri. And then finally she's 3 people because she's half everything. Ba-dunch.
Gonna pull a Drazi and get some new genital locations.
I can't believe like the one thing you remember about the Jurassic is that their vaginas are in their armpits. And I think we mentioned it in one episode, and it's because they have like a data chip in there. And he's like, oh, they have a pouch there? And he's like, no, that's their genitals. And you were like, I got that for life. That's going in the vault. That's going in the vault.
Right in there with that recurring dream I had between like 5 and 8, where I was unicycling down the hallway and there were bottomless pits in the hallway.
What must your mind be like? Just this
Scary.
This snake pit of the fuck is this shit?
There sometimes the bottomless pits had snakes in them.
See, look at that. I called it. I said it was a snake pit.
And looking back now, I think that was a big driver for why I learned to ride a unicycle.
Is it?
In college.
Because you were like, never again.
I need to prepare for this situation so that if it happens, I can skillfully maneuver around all of the pits.
I had a dream, the only dream I remember from childhood, and it was that there was a flood outside. And I had to keep all the windows shut because that way the water wouldn't come in because there were things in the water. And if they got in, they would eat me.
Chubby rain.
But they could also open the windows.
Oh, no.
So I had to keep running around and shutting the windows because they were trying to get in. And it's one of the few memories I have from childhood, which we have a friend who went to therapy. And he was like, oh, so I told my therapist that I don't have any memories from my childhood. And she was like, wow, you must have a lot of trauma that you've forgotten. And I was like, what?
Yes.
What do you mean?
One of the symptoms of childhood trauma is having very few memories of your childhood.
What do you mean? I don't remember anything prior to high school. And I don't even remember high school. I just remember college on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what difference? What do I need the previous? It's fine.
On a related note, I was just reading an article about a study that was done where they, before therapy sessions, they had people watch a video, like watch a screen, which was a like youth filter on their face.
Okay.
So they would interact with this like age filter version of themselves. And it significantly improved recall of memories from their childhood.
That's weird. I can't. That's stressing me out thinking about doing that, honestly. I was trying to picture what that would be like, and I was like, no.
The trauma's pushing you back. Sometimes
we bury things because they're supposed
Maybe
to stay
there's a
reason.
I have many memories of my childhood.
You do?
Yeah. Like when my grandma used to make superhero costumes for us.
That's really cute.
Mm-hmm. Because she had her whole like sewing studio.
I do remember one time I got asked to be a flower girl, which, funny story, it's one of the few times I've actually been invited to be in a wedding. And I thought you actually got to be a flower and I wanted to be a tulip. And that's, yeah.
I'm a twin. So me and my twin got to be ring boys like a lot.
Yeah, well, you're a redheaded
ring bearers.
twin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously. Yeah,
obviously.
no, I've been in my own wedding.
I have carried so many satin pillows with rings on them.
I've been in my own wedding. I was not in my brother's wedding. Matt, who I was not even engaged to, was in my brother's wedding.
Right? We'd been dating, I think, for 2 years, but I had not proposed yet.
No, we were not even engaged, and you were in the wedding. I was not in the wedding. Not only that, but I didn't get invited to do any of the pre-wedding stuff. I'm not even in the photos. I'm not in Matt's in my brother's wedding photos. I am not in my brother's wedding photos. It's fine. I'm not bitter at all. Anyway, Linear is like, back to the episode. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
We have a fan base. We got to stick to this shit. Linear's like, what is there to discuss? And she's like, I mean, whether I get to still be a member of the council or if I'm going to be removed. JM has said they're lifetime appointed, like the Supreme Court.
Oh.
Their only oversight is the icy scythe of death. That's a quote from America the Book. Remember when Stephen Colbert wrote America the Book?
I am America, and so can you?
Yes, that's the one. I read that book. And he has a section at the beginning about the Supreme Court.
Hold on.
There's a whole section on the Supreme Court where he's like, wouldn't it be awful if we had some really bad Supreme Court justices? And he's like, it's kind of a shitty system when you think about it, because if you get a bad one in there, you really can't get him out. And I feel like that was prophetic. I don't know. I don't know why. I just have this sense. Which
so much of this is prophetic. And like JMS said, he would have rather been wrong.
Yeah. I love how Colbert went on the Daily, but back to the Daily Show. Now that he's not on the Colbert late show with Stephen Colbert anymore.
He's probably just enjoying
and he was
time
like,
at home with his wife. Hold on.
No. He was like, listeners, Daddy's home.
Yeah.
Some important question. The Great Council appoints Great Council members.
Mm-hmm.
They're not elected officials. And they're positioned for life.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if you do appoint somebody who's not a good idea? Does the Great Council, and the Great Council doesn't kick them off. Like maybe the Great Council doesn't think of them as problematic. But you could sort of chain appoint shitty people onto the Great Council, and you could end up with a Great Council that no longer reflects what's best for the people, and they have no say over it.
So you can impeach a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
Like you can impeach a president. Like some presidents have been impeached multiple times.
Do they have another ruling body, though? I mean, does the Minbari have a secondary ruling body that would enact an impeachment? And a lot of times...
We don't know.
And a lot of times...
We don't know about Minbari politics.
They're secret. The members of the Great Council are secret.
The Great Council itself is secret, so only the Great Council could impeach a member of the Great Council.
It's horrifying. The Minbari are ruled by a shadow government that they don't know anything about and that they have no control over.
That was laid out by Valen.
It's a bad system.
It's survived this long, but...
Just because a government survives doesn't mean it's a good government.
Right, but it...
But the Great Council, what I'm getting at here is the Great Council is like, wow, we think you're the best of us.
Mm-hmm.
We think you make really good decisions. We think that, you're really the one who should be our leader. You should rule us. And Delenn is like, actually, I'm going to have to pass. I think I've got a different destiny. I feel called to do a different thing. And they were like, fine, then fuck off. Fuck off. Never mind. That's some childish bullshit. They don't even want her on there anymore. They don't even want her on there so badly. They don't show up when they kick her off. They don't even kick her off face to face. That's some toddler level tantrum bullshit. I think the idea is that the people who are on the Great Council are so noble and so selfless and so wise.
Right.
And that they've answered this call to leadership, and that makes them worthy of being the leaders. And I think it works up until it doesn't. Almost as if...
Like some leaders in modern times where the whole system depends on some level of integrity and following the conventional behavior of the leadership position.
Yeah,
then you get someone in that position who is like, fuck all the traditions
Do
and
I have
conventions.
to? Like, is it illegal for me to not to? Then I'm going to do it.
Is this like required?
Is it legal?
Oh, it's only expected.
Okay,
by
then never mind.
convention?
I'm not going to do
Then
it.
I'm not going to do any of that shit.
Right.
I'm going to shit on the whole system.
Right.
Anyway.
Just as a totally hypothetical situationship that could happen.
We're only talking about Naroon.
We're just hypothetically. Yeah. And then Babylon 5. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like every other previous member of the Grey Council was expected to remove, sever all connections to their former life in the public society.
Right. To avoid the appearance of favoritism.
One example would be how
when Naroon sold his peanut farm.
Yes. Selling your peanut farm
Uh-huh.
to just avoid even the slightest perception of
bias
and influence, like using your authority to influence your business ventures.
Yeah.
After you get elected, and then you get some guy in here who's like, do I have to? Is that legally required?
Do you think Naroon started a cryptocurrency?
Multiple cryptocurrencies?
What would you call it? The Naroon
Rune coin.
Bitroon. Anyway. Delenn is
okay. So
Delenn is
and
worried.
Lanier are talking about Delenn's trip to Minbar.
She's like, I'm leaving shortly. I don't know if I return. It's possible they could remove me from Babylon 5 as well.
She's not going to Minbar. She's going to visit the Grey Council.
Yeah, which
and
they're
the Grey
on
Council
the move.
is always moving.
Yeah.
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
And I do like that Lanier is like, why the fuck would they do that? Like, what would the point? Thank you, Lanier. We're all asking the same question.
It's a matter of soul, not flesh.
Listen, if you had someone who was so wise and so committed to their path and so dedicated to the selfless pursuit of the greater good, that they actually turned down leadership and then became half human, that's the person you want on your fucking council.
I'm reminded of Socrates.
Oh, okay.
Who was so disruptive to society at the time that I think they charged him with, would it be like apostasy or heresy?
Yeah.
And they said, you need to stop doing what you're doing or we're going to fucking kill you. And he's like, counter offer. Doing philosophy requires a lot of sacrifice from me. So the harshest punishment that you could bestow upon me is a requirement to continue sacrificing all of the personal things that I already sacrifice to practice philosophy and provide me with an allowance for housing to facilitate this continued behavior of philosophy, like doing philosophy, which requires me to make all these personal sacrifices. So that's my counter offer. And they're like, fuck you. And so he ended up drinking the poison, whatever.
Yeah. Or whatever. This has been Philosophy Corner with Matt. Dee-dee-dee. I'm reminded of my Diogenes. What I want is for you to move because you're fucking standing in my light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Alexander the Great went to Diogenes and said,
what do you want?
Hey, you were an inspiration to my teacher. I want to honor that respect. What can I do for you? Name anything. I have a massive empire. I can give you any wish that you can state. And he says, move to the side a little. You're blocking my sunlight.
Yeah. That was Delenn.
Yeah.
She was like, nah, dog, you're in my light. And they were like, how dare you do that? How dare? And then kick her off. And we're going to get there because we're going to talk about it again because it comes up later. I'm actually preemptively talking about it. But this is a really good way to illustrate that the Grey Council, because the Minbari and the Grey Council and that whole culture has been very space Vulcan, very unimpeachable,
moral high ground, always choosing the nobler path because they're better than us. And then this is a great way to illustrate that, sorry, y'all, there's still a bunch of petty bitches, just like the rest of us. Yeah.
It's a way to work it in organically into the story.
I think it reinforces the whole idea that, oh, wait, do we know that yet?
Well, I think one of the main themes that we're working our way through, methodically through.
I'm sorry, I interrupted the flow.
What was I saying?
They're still petty bitches.
Well, they're still petty bitches. Yes, correct. Oh, that they're not space Vulcans. Okay. When Sheridan said about the Psychor, but they're not one thing. They're like everything. They're made up of people, and people are all different.
I don't trust organizations. I trust individuals.
And I think that's really sort of one of the underlying themes of a lot of what's happening is that none of these cultures are a monolith.
Right.
They are all made up of people, and people are messy, and it makes them all messy.
Right.
Even the Minbari.
I think that calls back to when on Babylon 5, they had to have a presentation of the dominant religious culture or whatever.
You mean in Parliament of Dreams?
And
yeah, dog.
And Sinclair was like, let me introduce you to 50 different religious leaders from Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
because we are not a monolith.
I think this is a hard departure from the every culture is one thing that you get in Star Trek. We are
or in
Star
Wars, you get, this is the ice planet. This is the desert planet.
Yeah.
This is the jungle planet. This is the ocean planet.
Right.
This is the
rain planet?
Cloud planet.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, exactly like that. No, they're all made up of people. And that means that people are all different and people are messy.
Right.
And that makes them all messy. Even the Grey Council. Because she's like, I'm leaving. I don't know if I'm coming back because they could remove me from Babylon 5 as well. And Lanier is like, fucking why? And she's like, Lanier, look at me.
You're naive.
Well, he says, being asked to serve on the council is a matter of soul, not of flesh. The change you've gone through shouldn't matter.
But it does.
Correct.
I have this style of discussion at work multiple times a week.
This has been the theme of my last month of life.
Where, yes,
yeah.
This all this paperwork
I need this form. This isn't when we normally do this.
They should not need that.
Okay,
but they're asking for it.
right, correct. Oh, but they don't.
My
they shouldn't
discussions
need that.
are more like,
okay.
But this is the way we do things. But this is not the way we should be doing it. Okay, but welcome to reality. We both live here.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Right.
There are constraints imposed by the environment you exist and operate in. And kind of to make things work.
Right. It shouldn't matter.
You need to be aware of the constraints of the environment enough that you can coexist with them, not just, we should tear the whole thing down and rebuild it from scratch. That is not a viable solution.
I mean, there are moments where I'm with Lanier. It shouldn't matter.
Right.
And I fucking hate that it matters.
Yeah.
Which is what he's saying. He's like, it's not that Lanier doesn't get it. It's that Lanier doesn't know why he has to get it.
You know what? This kind of discussion, I think, is addressed in the more literature side of fiction and high fantasy when they talk about pacifism. Specifically, in the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson.
Oh no, we bought Brandon up last time.
They go deep into like there's a character that is like firmly pacifism is the way to go, and that's the only ethical way to exist. And another guy's like, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism.
Did he say that?
I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, okay.
I'm making a metaphor.
Are you?
There's always a balance of compromising between. There's always a balance to be found between the ideal system, ideal worldview, whatever, and the actual worldview.
Yeah. It, to me, reminds me of somebody I saw finally wrote it down or made a reel about it. And I was like, fucking thank you, which is, why did we make sense of justice into a disability?
Oh, yes. A trait of a disability.
Right.
Yep.
Because a strong sense of justice is strongly correlated with
Amen,
autism.
sister.
With autism.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay. But they're like, oh, those poor people, they suffer from a strong sense of justice. Bitch, that is not a disability, okay?
That is a positive contribution to society.
The fact that I know what is right and I believe the world should do what is right is not a disability, okay? If anything, it is the vital role that we play in the larger world.
It is a correcting mechanism.
So it is my strong belief that a lot of these genetically inherited, what we consider currently disabilities, are just things that if we were in a hunter-gatherer society and we were in a small group or small collective, you would serve your own function.
Right. It would cause the group to split. Or
Right. Like I was watching a video of this really cool kid who knew like 150 bird calls and could mimic up to 150 bird calls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize how valuable of an asset that would be in a hunter-gatherer group to have the kid that can talk to fucking birds? We're like, oh, that poor child. But if you were in a group, you'd be like, hell yeah. Can you learn one that calls them over here so we can kill them and eat them? Or can you like know the birds that are closest to water so we can follow the sound of the birds that know where the water is?
Okay, on the topic of water, there's a good book.
I brought up birds and water again.
There's a book. I listened to most of it. It's by StraczynskiDirected. I think that's how you pronounce the name. And it's called How to Read Water. It has a lot of cool stuff in it. But one of the things they talk about is if you want to know where water is, look at the birds. And when birds are flying in a particular direction at a lower altitude, it's because they're heavier and they're flying away from the water.
Oh.
So if you
They
see
got a
birds,
full gas tank.
they got a full gas tank. if they're flying lower altitude than all the other birds, you can backtrack the direction they came from, and they probably came from water.
Well, humans can detect parts of water in air, like minuscule amounts of moisture. Petrichor is one of the things that we can sense better than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have a part of my brain is always dedicated to like, oh, that's real. That's real animal of us. Like I asked you the other day.
Oh yeah.
Is it not weird when we clap? I find it really weird when we clap. It's one of the most simian things
or
that
when
we
we
do.
all go, woo!
Right. We hoot and we slap our hands together as like, yeah, man, I'm so proud of you.
That's very simian,
It's
like
incredibly
ape behavior.
And I think of it every time there's like a standing ovation or I have to clap for someone or whatever. I'm like, wow, this is like organized. You know, when chimps are excited and they jump up and down and scream and clap their hands and whatever. I'm like, this is that, guys. Like, this is all we're doing, right? It's weird. objectively, it's weird. And so that's another one that falls under it is like, we can scent water. We're not as far from the cave as we think we are. And I love it.
And every time it comes, when the kids are asking questions, whatever, a common response is, humans are animals.
Right. Well, I can't believe it's never occurred to you how weird it is that we slap our hands together to make noise to congratulate people.
I never made a connection to simian behavior.
Okay, I can see that. Anyway, Linear. Back. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Okay, we're still on page 1 of this.
Is this why we don't do drunk episodes anymore?
We're almost an hour in.
You know what? I need you to stop. I'm going to put a piece of tape over the timer so you can't tell how far in we are.
Mm-hmm.
But
I have a vague sense of how much time has passed.
Delenn comes in. It comes in from the side because Linear's like, it shouldn't matter. And she's like, but it does. It does. And I made my decision, and that is that I must face the consequences.
And I think this is the first, overt signal from Lanier about how in love he is with Delenn.
I feel like that's something we can plant right here, which is one of the things that Bill Mumy talked about with JMS was that he felt that Lanier was deeply in love with Delenn.
That's one of Bill Mumy's contributions to the Lanier character.
Yeah.
Is that Lanier is deeply in love, not infatuated, deeply emotionally and relationally attached to Delenn.
Right.
Even if that's not the depth of a relationship does not have to be on a trajectory toward a sexual relationship.
Almost as if love and sex can be two separate things.
Right.
Correct.
Have we talked about the term platonic?
Is this the time that we need to talk about the term platonic? I assume it's related to Plato.
Right. Okay. So the term platonic came about because of the way Plato interacted with his students. And apparently Plato's relationship with his students was so unusual that they came up with the term platonic. Platonic means I, as a teacher, do not have sex with my students.
Oh, that's really good.
Which was such prevailing behavior in ancient Greek society is that teachers would have sex with their students.
Well, I feel like that. Yeah.
And Plato and some others stood out. And so when the other people started doing the same thing, they were like, oh, that's very platonic of you.
Yeah.
To not have sex with your students. And Plato was like, bruh.
Why is a strong sense of justice a disability?
Having sex with my students would compromise the teacher-student relationship. And all the other teachers are like, but I get less sex.
Yeah, but my students are hot, though. Have you seen my students, though?
And so nowadays, it kind of has a negative affect to it, where platonic means almost like friend-zoned.
Yeah.
But the original definition of platonic just meant we have a deep, relationship. We have a level of intimacy, but I'm not going to, in a platonic relationship, one person has a position of authority over the other. And the person in the position of authority has made the decision to say, I am not going to exploit my position of authority to gain some kind of gratification.
Right. So this is platonic love.
Which is an extremely positive, that's a big green flag.
Yeah.
Is if you have a person of authority who's physically attracted to you and they say, or their actions communicate.
I would say Delenn is not in love with Lanier, but Lanier is in love with Delenn.
I think Delenn has a deep, has a level of intimacy with Lanier, but has decided,
I think in a caregiver capacity.
I don't want to exploit this level of intimacy just for a like sensual, sexual gratification relationship. I'm going to keep it as I want to do what I can to help you grow into the best kind of person you can grow into.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But she tells him she's left detailed instructions in case she doesn't come back so that the person who replaces her can have everything they need in case I never see you again. And it's the change in her character is fairly marked. Like it's pretty dramatic. And I don't know if we're supposed to read that as we're just learning more about Delenn.
I think we're finally seeing farther behind the scenes of the Delenn character.
Right. And she's like, I just want you to know, Lanier, that for the first time, I feel really alone.
For the first time, I feel very much alone.
No. Never alone, Delenn. Never alone.
Because she did something really drastic.
Right.
And it was a thing she felt she had no choice but to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she thought that they would back her up. And instead they're like,
I think she hoped they would back her up, but she knew that even if they didn't, she was going to do it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no metaphor in modern society for that kind of transition you might go through.
Nope. Maybe without the support of the people you thought you would have the support from. And then in the end, you're all alone. But then
maybe as kind of a litmus test, like you tell people you're close to, I'm going to do this thing, regardless of how you react. I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah.
I'm just informing you. And based on that reaction, you can say, I'm going to keep in touch with this person, or I'm going to not keep in touch with this person.
Right. You know what? You keep in touch with Lanier because he just comes in with never alone, Delenn.
I'm always here for you.
Never alone.
I got your back, fam.
I liked the never alone better.
Yep.
But that's, you know what? You do you. Whatever you need to feel support in this moment, I'm here for you, Delenn. You are never alone. And then
on to CNC.
Yeah. After that dramatic moment.
Business.
Sheridan business. He's like, oh, yeah, you know, there's been unusual sightings. This is very season 1 of them. Because they're like, oh, look at that. There's some weird sightings. And he's like, description? They're like, man, not a lot. Like bright light, turbulence. You know, we've had at least one transport disappearing off screens in that area, but it may be unrelated. That's why it feels like season 1, because they're like, there have been bright lights and turbulence and reports of weird things going on. And then we had a transport disappear, but I think it's completely unrelated. It probably has nothing to do with it.
Definitely not.
What the fuck else would cause that? Okay. Does it happen so often that you're like, I don't know, it might be Tuesday. A lot of transports go missing on Tuesday. I don't know. It's probably not related. What the fuck? Of course it's related.
Unidentified spatial phenomena.
But this is my favorite line. Favorite line in probably the whole fucking episode. He goes, can't be raiders. They're pretty much out of business. But I was like, oh, is that because we haven't talked about them in so long? I said, is this a joke? Is this a self-reference? Because the raiders were such a big part
of season 1.
And then they just crickets, gone. And then they're like, well, I mean, they're like not here anymore.
Garibaldi and Sinclair killed all of the raiders.
They did. They found them all and they murdered them all.
Murder.
Well, after that one group was like, we're going to buy a big ship that is jump capable. And then they were all like, I don't know. How are they getting to the place so quickly and then getting away?
The raiders could not possibly have a jump capable ship.
No, they didn't even think of that. They were like,
right?
We got nothing. We got nothing.
They're raiders.
I can't.
They can't have a jump capable ship.
Yeah. And then the shadows blew them up. So that might have been like all the eggs in one basket situation. Yeah. I mean, they're out of businesses is a joke. I think it's pretty much a joke because they haven't shown up in so long. And she's like, I agree, but like something's going on. And he's like, well, since it's in our jurisdiction, we should probably check it out. And this is Ivanova and Sheridan having a chat. And he's like, well, Zeta Squadron, Alpha and Zeta Squads are both on other missions.
Delta's leader is down sick.
Wait. What other missions? What other missions did they send them out for?
Just don't worry about it.
Okay. He's like, I could assign it to a second.
I could pull a Sheridan.
I know Sinclair.
I could pull a Sinclair.
Sheridan's like, I mean, I could go. I could go. And Ivanova's like, I don't think so. And he goes, there isn't a clear and present danger. I'm sorry. What qualifies? What qualifies as a clear and present danger? Because there's turbulence, there's bright lights, there's mysterious happenings, there's an entire transport that has gone fucking missing. And you're like,
this reminds me of the vibe of Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
How bad can it be, right? I'll go play some rock music. They'll play rock music with me. We'll jam it out a little bit, and I'll come home.
Okay, so two things from this discussion.
Yeah.
If I don't put in some flight time, I'll lose my flight pay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get a bonus to your paycheck for maintaining certain skill sets. Okay, great. Love it. Support this.
Okay.
But then he utters the trope line.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? I wrote a lot.
A lot could go wrong. I would like to previously reference the exact same conversation you are currently having where we stated that there are bright lights, turbulence, strange goings on, missing transports. And he's like, I
looked up, there's a new acronym that has replaced UFO, and it's UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Okay.
And so I thought, okay, now we have USP, unidentified space phenomenon.
Okay.
So bright lights, turbulence.
USB, unidentified space bullshit. Way better.
It's only bullshit when someone is making a claim without evidence.
I mean, yeah. It's just okay. It's fine. It's fine. I get the whole point of doing all of this, but I just think it's really funny that they're like, yes, we found a cloud of floating body debris that we think used to be people. And he's like, what can go wrong? It could just be like a space thing. It's fine. Clouds of body parts show up all the time.
Yeah.
Who
hasn't seen that?
What constitutes clear and present danger? Where's the line? Actual shooting? Actual firing? What if... Okay. You know that there are species in the galaxy that you know nothing about.
But do you know? Do you know for sure?
They know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. What? Yes. Right? The universe is a big place.
Sheridan has kind of led a sheltered life.
He has not at all, in fact. He's been on first contact. He was in a first contact situation where they invited him over to his spaceship and it was a cloud.
With a race that was, I think, the most relevant, the most significant factors of evaluating new civilizations, new species, whatever, from the perspective of an Earth Force officer is how dangerous are they?
Right. Well, this, I would say, is dangerous. Where'd the transport go, Matthew? Where did it go?
Hold on. When he met the ship that was a cloud,
yeah,
not a whole lot of dangerous weaponry there.
Right.
Just interesting
but what
technical
about a ship
implementation
that can snatch a whole ass transport, and then you take a space dinghy to go check it out. Okay? Because Star Furies are fucking space dinghies. They're single-person crafts with guns.
If you vaporize enough of the ship, there's no evidence.
Right. So it's a very powerful ship that's capable of vaporizing something so you don't even know where
They
it
don't know
went.
it's vaporized. Maybe it's like that guy who just had a psychotic breakdown and parked on the side of the road for like 12 hours and then just yeeted off.
I love when you've listened to a true crime podcast with me. What if it's like the time Babylon 4 appeared and disappeared? Huh? What if it's like the time a space ghost almost ate everybody because it got picked up on a moon that this ship passed by? I feel like they've seen enough weird space bullshit for them to be like, you know what, hold on, man. I don't know if this is a good idea for you to go.
I think this is a situation where Sheridan should have had a separate meeting with both Ivanova and Garibaldi about, hey, are there any historical precedents for this kind of activity around, in or around or near Babylon 5?
You know, wait.
And they could say, oh yeah, there's this thing that we kept off all the official logs.
It doesn't make sense that we don't have something between Star Fury and Babylon 5 in terms of size and firepower.
That's a good point.
We have shuttles and we have Star Furies. And Star Furies are fine, but they're fighter ships. They're like taking TIE fighters everywhere and never taking a Star Destroyer.
Right. You should have something like at the level of Star Destroyer, just like at the disposal of Babylon 5 at any given time.
Didn't DS9 have one? They had a little ship. They had a little runaround that they could take places.
They did, and that was a prototype ship.
Yes.
The... why can't I remember the name of it?
The Defiant.
The Defiant!
We looked it up.
I knew it started with a D.
I did too. And it's docked on the ring. I remember that much. You can have it. It could be docked on the outside.
Yeah.
It could function as a secondary part of the defense grid. It could be in like synchronized orbit.
A command and control ship that multiple Star Furies can dock to.
If you're expecting Babylon 5 to act as to go out on search and rescue missions.
What? Okay, I think that's fair. Is that the expectation?
Yeah.
When the people designed the processes and protocols around how Babylon 5 should operate, I think they always ran into the top level design principle of Babylon 5 is here to enforce or to facilitate peaceful interactions.
Right. But if you're going to do rescue missions,
right,
then you need to have a rescue ship that has like
to have
a
more
med
resources.
bay. And because right now, if you pick somebody up 3 hours out in normal space, you got to travel the 3 hours back before they can get medical.
You can't even stabilize them along the
If
way.
you're in a Star Fury, you can't even pick people up.
Yeah.
If you need to evacuate a ship, where do they go to?
Yeah.
What do they evacuate to? You'd have to take a shuttle with you, which you can't always anticipate you're going to need. Anyway, I'm going to set that soapbox aside because guess what? We finally made it to the intro. We done it! And then we come back and it's Lanier and Delenn.
What? Oh,
and
yeah.
they're like, your flyer is recharged and ready for departure at any time. And she's like, cool,
I thought
thank
it was
you.
funny they used the word recharged.
Yeah, they've mentioned that the Star Furies need to come back and recharge too.
What did they recharge with?
I don't know. They have that hydrogen thing where it was like a honeycomb structure and you're going to force hydrogen into it.
Fuel cell?
Yeah, that one. That's what they're recharging.
Maybe it's...
I'm putting my foot down. It's what they're recharging.
There are some really cool battery technologies that we don't need to get into right now. Anyway.
I was going to say, like you always say, the next revolution is in batteries.
Yep, batteries are the bottleneck.
So anyway, Lanier is like, cool.
I'm going with you.
As is mine. And she's like, you do not have a flyer. And he's like, correct. I've arranged to borrow one.
I rented one.
She won't even let him sit on the fucking floor. She's like, No.
I thought it was interesting that
no, this flyer is
even for long range. Ooh. So I was thinking, even for long range travel, the Minbari still have like single person ships. What if it's not long range travel? What if the Grey Council ship is actually kind of close to Babylon 5 right now?
It is not that far. It's not that far.
Yeah.
It's not like days. It's just, it's a skip and a jump. It's a hyperspace jump, but it's not that far.
Right.
And yeah, they each have to be in their own individual ship, which was
I'm going
such
with
a
you,
choice.
but I'm going to be in a separate ship.
It was such a choice because they are not. It's not.
You know what I was picturing
Yeah.
when they were doing this, like in Stranger Things when they all get on bikes and ride together. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was visualizing. Is
or in ET.
Delenn and Lanier on bicycles riding down the road.
Wow.
Next to each
That's
other.
an image.
With walkie-talkies.
Yeah, because he says they're going to talk along the way.
Right.
But they must talk over radio because they're not in the same ship. Hers flies out and then his flies after him.
Right after it.
And I would get it if it was like a Star Fury where you're like in the little compartment. There's clearly no space for anyone else. But she's just...
Right. You could have a second person in there sitting on the floor.
But you know what? Maybe it's illegal to fly without a
Maybe it's
seatbelt.
illegal.
And there's only one seatbelt. And she's wearing it. I do love that we did away with the whole like command thing that she used the first time, where she had two buttons and she just kept pushing the same button. Like, okay, now go forward, button. Okay, now go backwards.
The props people
button.
got more budget.
No, they just had nothing. They just showed nothing. They just showed her from the shoulders up. So we don't see. We don't. She looks down as if she's pushing controls, but we don't actually see anything that she's pushing.
Which is a more elegant solution to the problem.
Yeah, I just remember Earth Final Conflict is circa this era, and they had the whole heads-up display where they would move stuff around. That was really cool.
Like Minority Report.
A little bit like that, yeah. And she's like, "Oh no, you don't have to go with me." And Lanier goes, "Yeah, that's correct. However, I'm going to do it anyway." And she
I
goes,
don't have to, but I am.
I'm going to. She goes, "Lanier, listen to me. The council holds me in disfavor right now. I don't want that to spill onto you." And he's like, "What? I'm not worried about that."
I want your stuff spilling all over me all the time.
Stop. Don't. It's too soon. I just read a Stephen King book. I can't do that to me. And he goes, I'm not worried about that. I don't give a shit. Do you think I really give a shit?
That is not my priority right now.
And she's like, of course I don't think you give a shit. You're young.
That is correct. Nonetheless, I will accompany you.
She goes, you're young and youth is both foolish and vulnerable. This is not a wise thing for you to do. And he's like, of course it's not. I'm gonna fucking do it anyway. And she just goes, have I mentioned recently how much I appreciate you, Lanier? And he goes, not really, but it'll give us something to talk about on our trip. That's how I want you to respond. The next time I'm like, aren't you thankful? And you can be like, yes, I am. And it will give us something to discuss on our trip. That's what I
You haven't brought it up a lot, but we can talk about it on the trip.
We can talk about it now. And then we come back to Sheridan and Ivanova. Sheridan's like, received because
Sheridan's
she
getting
calls
ready
him.
for Star Fury.
And Ivanova's like, I pulled together your escort, Captain. They're going to meet you in half an hour. And he's like, cool. Anything else? And she's like, yeah. We received word.
I heard that a general is coming.
General Haig is going to be here.
You didn't fucking tell me?
He's going to be here early. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, if a member of the Joint Chiefs is boarding, I should have been informed. There is protocol to consider. And he's like, this is just like a friend thing.
He's not visiting as a Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's visiting as my buddy.
It's cordial and unofficial. And Ivanova's like, yeah, which means you could have told me. There's no reason for you to not have told me.
Right.
And he's like, Commander, this is a private matter. I need you to just drop it. Okay?
Just don't worry about it.
I was going to tell you about it, but as you said, he's arriving ahead of schedule, and I should be back by then. So is there anything else? Why do you know you're going to be back by... You don't know anything about what you're walking into.
He's conveying that it will be an extremely high priority for him to return back on time.
It's NBD. It's no big deal.
Whatever comes up, I can handle it.
And he's like, cool, I'll see you when I come back. And then
I will definitely not need to be rescued.
Wait, we get to this really weird scene of Dr. Franklin and Garibaldi. And someone named Ramirez. Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. That's the only acceptable long form of his name.
Yeah.
He's Carlos Ramirez, but he's not. He's Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez.
It's a pen name.
The Scottish guy pretending to be a Spanish guy who's actually an Egyptian guy. You want to talk about a drunk
who
episode?
just fucked his Spanish language teacher for 3 weeks in Spain
instead of learning how to speak with a Spanish accent. Who hired Sean Connery and was like, it's cool, we'll get him to sound Spanish?
Anyway, you can listen to our Highlander episode.
You can't. It's archived. I took it down.
What?
I think it's up on the Patreon. If you want to join the Patreon, I think it's on there. And if it's not, I'll put it up because
nice pitch.
You want to talk about a drunk episode.
That was our second episode ever, and it was also our most drunk episode ever.
We were so drunk. We were so drunk. I'm not even anywhere near the microphone. It's probably the worst. That's why I archived it, because it has the worst audio quality of any episode we've recorded, possibly ever. So it's also one of our funniest episodes because we are cracking each other up over fuck all. And it was the one time I let you take the notes and lead the discussion. You're just like, these are the eyes of a haunted man. You just kept repeating that for everyone. You were like, and here's another immortal, and those are the eyes of a haunted man. It was good, I'll admit, but I have archived it. Are you double checking if I've archived it? It doesn't even
show up on... If I search on YouTube for Highlander.
Yeah. It's the hidden secret episode. We are drunk off our fucking asses. I just need to put it up if you want to know what that sounds like. But Stephen Franklin, Michael Garibaldi, and Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez are discussing a game, a sports ball game. I'm sure I'm supposed to know who the Dodgers are, but I know as much about sports as I do about military hierarchy.
Fair.
Yeah. I think it might be baseball.
Yes. Baseball.
Aren't they the World Series?
Yes.
Okay. Baseball, the one that I actually know all the rules for, because my parents were like, you will be sportsy. You can do this. And they kept putting me in softball. I think I was in softball for like
I think I did 3 years of baseball.
I did
and
many
I always
years.
got put in the outfield.
Oh, yes. On the one that only left-handers hit in that direction.
Yep. Hey, samesies.
What? I was totally like Ferdinand. I was just out there digging holes with my cleats. And then one time, somebody decided they were going to inspire me to be a part of the team. And so they made me the catcher. And my dad was like, you got to throw your helmet off. You got to throw your helmet off so you can see what's happening. So every time somebody hit the ball, I threw my helmet off. And I would be so dirty by the end of it because I kept having to pick the dirty helmet up and put it back on my head.
Oh, Highlander is unpublished on Transistor.
Yes.
So it's probably only available on Spotify.
Okay. I'm happy that you're having this moment over there.
I was trying to see, did we have any downloads of it?
We have a couple Patreon only episodes that I took off the main feed and I only put on Patreon. And if you are a patron, I think you get access to a Spotify feed that has any of our audio that I put up.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but you can go and listen on Patreon. And if you can't, somebody holler at me and I'll figure out how to put it up there. But I'm not putting it back in the main feed because it sounds so bad.
Because it was in the living room.
We were so tinny. We didn't have a soundproof room. We just had
a sound treated room.
We just had microphones in our living room, and we're drunk. And I'm like, I keep falling away from the microphone while I'm talking. I can't. However bad you think it is, it's worse. So they're like, you're full of it. The Dodgers will never make it to the World Series. They'll be lucky to make it to the playoffs without embarrassing themselves. He's like, Garibaldi turns to Dr. Franklin and he goes, your diagnosis, doctor? And Dr. Franklin goes, well, the patient is confused, delusional, unable to separate his natural sense of loyalty for his home team from the reality that they stink and got into the playoffs on a technicality. And Ramirez is like, oh my God, what technicality? And he goes,
sports bullshit.
The Mars team hit more home runs than the other team on books. I do like Dr. Franklin's technicality, though. It makes a lot of sense. He goes, only because Martian gravity is 40% less than Earth normal, so the ball travels faster and further, skewing the results. You think they would account for that. He goes, once they hit Earth gravity, Helen Keller could bat better than any one of them. And I have to, setting aside any problematic nature, leaving aside any implications of using Helen Keller in this context, we'll put that on the show. Would anyone get the reference? That's hundreds and hundreds of years ago at this point.
That's a good point.
My kids wouldn't get this reference.
It'd probably be like my Socrates references. Probably even less prominent than that.
That's fair. Kind of. Because, I guess we're living in a world where we haven't solved medical problems.
Right. We haven't solved the same systemic issues.
Yeah.
As like the 1990s.
Right. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Like, okay, put your money where your mouth is. They end up betting 30 credits as Mars gets swept. He's like, you're on. And then beep, beep. He's like, Ramirez, go. Ramirez, go. Lieutenant Ramirez.
Every time they said, okay, Ramirez, I was like, oh, Sean Connery's coming.
Ramirez. Every time. He goes, Lieutenant Ramirez, please report to Star Fury Bay 9 for immediate launch. You know what is still up and is almost as fun as the drunk Highlander episode is our Highlander 2 episode.
Yeah, I did see the Highlander 2 episode on the feeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, cool, I'll be there. I'm going to have a great dinner on your 30 credits, Doc. Yeah, dream on.
Ramirez, go.
Lieutenant Ramirez, please report to Star Fury Bay 9 for immediate launch.
Yeah, I'll be right there. I'm gonna have a great dinner on your 30 credits, Doc.
Yeah, dream on.
Helen Keller?
Heat of the moment.
Okay, so I think that reinforces our metric of like what value is a credit, and
roughly
like
$1.
$30
is a nice dinner
is
for one person,
like a mid-range dinner.
Yeah, it's a nice dinner for one person.
Yeah.
But Garibaldi turns to Dr. Franklin and he's like, Helen Keller? Dr. Franklin's like, heat of the moment. I don't know. I've never met that man before, and he was talking to me, and I just had to come up with something.
If you're a Gen Z listener, Helen Keller was both deaf and mute.
If you're a Gen Z listener. Bold assumption, sir. Bold assumption.
Hey, there's a dozen of them.
I have an important question. Why make up a character for this? Why make up Ramirez?
Why make up the Ramirez character? Because he dies to prove the situation is serious.
Couldn't we have used Lou?
No, Lou's already gone.
Well, this could be where Lou went. It makes more sense to use a character we've seen before than to invent a whole ass other character and then make...
I agree, but
Especially with how upset they want us to think Dr. Franklin is. Dr. Franklin has callously, coldly probed a man's open wounds in front of us and been like, does that hurt? Doink. Does that hurt? Doink. And yet he is as upset by Ramirez dying as he was by Sean dying.
Because Ramirez owed him money.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Wow. Okay. Is that what we think it is? I'm just saying, you want this to have emotional gravitas?
I mean, how is he supposed to pay his beep without the 30 credits?
Listen, you want this to have emotional gravitas? Kill a fucking character. Grow a pair. Kill a main character. I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. But it's weird to include that they care about this character when we've never seen him before. He dies. He has like 5 minutes of screen time. And then Dr. Franklin's like, I couldn't save him. He was my best friend. And I couldn't save him. He was
very distressed.
Yeah. He's mad. Yeah. And it doesn't come off as, I'm mad I couldn't save anyone. Like, I'm a doctor. I identify as a healer. I get mad when I can't heal people. It comes off as like, he was my best friend. And I wanted to keep him around.
Yeah.
It's fine. So he's like, your escort's in place, Captain. Time to go. This is when Sheridan is actually leaving, and they're like, happy hunting. And then he finally gets out, and he's like, oh, this is more like it. Which just reinforces them biking. Oh, yeah. I love my gravel bike.
Yeah.
He's like, I haven't, I wrote that. There hasn't been a captain in space in a really long time. Almost since Garibaldi had that talk with Sinclair where he was like, I think you're just trying to die.
There hasn't been a captain in space.
Well, I wrote Commander.
Wing Commander.
Don't bring that.
Meow.
Right? Do you think Sheridan is part pilgrim? Is that why is that why he's capable of navigating space the way he is?
Hell yeah.
He can just feel space. What a bananas movie that is. I want to know. I want to like sit down and have a conversation with the one serious actor who's in that movie, and he's acting so hard. And
you mean Freddie Prinze Jr.?
No.
You mean Matthew Lillard?
No. The French guy.
Yes,
David fucking Suchet. Hercule Poirot is standing there staring at this space map like, I used to be somebody. I used to be in Masterpiece fucking theater. And now I'm a fucking wing commander. I'm talking to people who are bobbing up and down in their spaceships like they're floating on the water. What is this bullshit? Why am I in it?
The 1995 masterpiece, Wing Commander.
Is it 95?
99.
Oh, God.
Yeah, 99.
Okay.
The 1999 masterpiece, Wing Commander.
We also have an episode on Wing Commander. This has turned into a Strange and Beautiful book club.
Oh, and Jürgen Prochnow.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yes.
Well, he was the dad from the 1980s Dune.
Dune, yes. Okay, so Jürgen is in it, and then there's that French guy who's in it who also plays the other pilgrim guy.
Okay, so he's not on the short list of the cast, but he is.
Jürgen Prochnow is also a voice on the World War Z graphic audio book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the World War Z graphic audio is so good.
Oh my God, so worth it.
There's so many
Nathan Fillion,
really good
Mark Hamill,
actors.
Jerry Ryan.
Yeah.
Jürgen Prochnow.
Mm-hmm.
All good. But he goes and he's flying, and he's just flying in a straight line. Not to bring it back to the episode or anything while you're looking through that. And Ivanova goes, now, Captain. And he goes, yes, Commander. She goes, if you continue in this behavior, you'll make the other pilots feel inadequate.
Right? And he's just doing some...
What do you mean? Do you mean...
a fairly basic rotation
do you
maneuver.
Mean flying at all? Do you mean flying as he's currently flying? What do you mean? I feel like that's the theme of this episode. What do you mean?
I think the implication is it's kind of a show-offy move to accelerate into the direction that you're planning to travel and then turn around. And your engines, most of your thrust equipment is on your backside. So if you need to accelerate in a particular direction, like if you wanted to accelerate forward, you are in the worst position possible. And so it's kind of show-offy.
Yeah.
Let's
go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sheridan's like, spoil sport. She goes, what was that, Captain? He's like, yeah, nothing. She goes, you're breaking up. Which always reminds me of the part in Real Steel when he's on the phone and he starts just going, get up, and he hangs up on the guy like he's breaking up. What's that? I think you're breaking up. And he just hangs up. And then we go back to Lanier and Delenn. Not to bring the tone back down or anything, but they've reached the Grey Council ship. And she's like, sorry, Lanier, you can't come in. Only members of the council and a few acolytes are allowed beyond this point. Well, Lanier is her acolyte. He can't come in.
He's still alive.
Who?
The French guy from Wing Commander.
What's his name?
Okay. Born Baru Jackie Cario.
Okay.
But in his acting name is Checky Cario.
Okay, sure. The French guy.
He's Turkish-born French actor and musician.
There's quite a few people that are in that because they needed to renovate their kitchen.
He works with Luc Besson a lot.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We watched the Luc Besson Dracula movie.
Yeah, we did. That is an accurate statement.
I inflicted the Dracula movie on Matt. I don't know. I think somebody needs to check on Luc Besson.
Luke, are you okay?
You know what happened, and this is my headcanon, and I stand by it, is he watched the 1990s Dracula and was like, God, I wish I'd done that first.
Mm-hmm.
What if I did it again, but worse?
Yeah.
But I won't make the mistake of having Keanu Reeves try to have a British accent. So here's a question, an important question, as we never talk about this episode, apparently. What is worse? In your mind, just extrapolate this, okay? What would be worse? Keanu Reeves trying to have a British accent? Or Sean Connery trying to have a Spanish accent?
Ooh. Keanu at least tried.
He tried. He put himself out there.
So hard.
He failed, but
Keanu
he tried.
Reeves was so vulnerable in his portrayal.
That's true. He did a bad job.
Right.
But he put himself out there.
Right. The product of his acting performance was a very bad British accent. But, I mean, kudos. For effort.
Yeah.
To be a Hawaiian-born surfer dude trying to do a British accent.
Yeah. Poorly.
And then you have Sean Connery.
He was like, no.
Post James Bond Sean Connery.
I would argue post Zardoz.
If you want to know more about Zardoz, look up Cinematic Anarchy.
My new benchmark for Sean Connery is before Zardoz,
post
after
Zardoz.
Yeah.
Sean Connery, which is post James Bond Sean Connery. Post Zardoz Sean Connery trying to do a Spanish accent
right
at all. Any kind of inflection whatever. No, he didn't. The perception is he didn't even try.
Okay, now, wait, hear me out.
Which, to be fair, in Highlander 2, they just ran with it.
They dispensed with him having anything but a Scottish background.
They dispensed with any pretense of non-Scottish ancestry for Ramirez.
Now, okay, hear me out. Fantasy casting for the Highlander movie. Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, Javier Bardem.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. That's it. We've peaked.
Okay, hold on. Now that I'm thinking about it, Javier Bardem as the Kurgan.
Oh. God, don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh,
we can make him twins.
So
we'll make him twins.
Javier Bardem.
We'll make him triplets and give him every role.
As a conflicted, as a gray villain, I think is the best role for Javier Bardem because he's so relatable and hateable.
He can be hateable.
My favorite. Okay, what is your favorite Javier Bardem scene?
Well, I liked him in all of Mar al Dentro, The Sea Within.
Yep, the Spanish film.
Yeah.
Yep. My favorite. Okay, let's say English language Javier Bardem.
That's hard to choose. What's yours?
Honestly, I have two. No Country for Old Men.
Which I have not watched.
He's so good in No Country for Old Men. I think this is actually a published article on psychopathy.
Okay.
They got literally dozens of, like, close to 100 I'm trying to assemble the verbs.
Psychologists. Okay.
Yes, they got close to 100 psychologists. I think 100 is the right order, like the right scale of people involved in this. And they rated a whole bunch of movies on how accurate the portrayal of psychopathy was. And Javier Bardem's character in No Country for Old Men was like the highest rated accuracy of portrayal of psychopathy of any movie.
Yeah.
Period.
That's fair.
But he was in a James Bond movie. And he has this scene, like, visually, it's really, really, really good. But also his performance is really, really, really good. And he's just slowly walking toward James Bond. He has this monologue about this island with a bunch of rats. And how do you rid the island of the rats? Narratively, it works into the movie because he's a former 007.
Yeah.
And then this whole story that he's telling.
He's a 00.
I guess he's a 00 agent. Yes.
God,
he's a former.
Sean Bean is 006.
God damn it!
Get it right.
Get it right.
Get it right. Why are you?
The pedantry is alive in Strange and Beautiful Book Club,
which is not the podcast we're doing. Can I pause you? I'm just gonna.
Oh, you're right. We're not.
I'm gonna pause you right there, and I'm gonna wheel us back to this moment that we're having between Lanier and Delenn. And I'm gonna place you in the context because it's been a minute.
It has.
Okay, they have arrived on the Grey Council ship. They're walking through the corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Delenn is talking to Lanier, and she tells him he needs to wait. That she's got to go in, and he can't come with her because only Grey Council members and
he
select
is happy
acolytes.
to wait.
He's like, I get it.
I will pray for you if you think that's appropriate.
If you don't think it's presumptuous. And she's like, oh, no, not at all. And then he goes, until later, Satai Delenn, which is very deliberate.
Oh, that line is extremely deliberate.
And this is a good moment.
This reminds me of the more recent meme of instead of thoughts and prayers, casting spells and chanting.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Kinda. Yeah.
I will cast spells and chant
Well,
for you.
what he's saying is, you are Satai Delenn to me.
Yeah.
No matter what. No matter what happens.
Regardless of what the Great Council says.
You
are
Delenn.
Satai.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we go back to Sheridan and Ramirez, which is what got us on this rant, okay? So you need to think before you name a character. Because what might happen?
Honestly, hold on.
No.
When did Highlander come out?
Oh, God. In the 80s.
Yeah, 86.
Yeah.
Highlander had been out for 9 years at this point.
Okay, you know what? It's a reference.
You should have known.
You should have known what you were getting
or
into.
You did know, and this was on purpose.
He's just like Carlos, I don't know, Ramirez. Okay, fine, whatever. It just didn't... The fact that two people would be in a room trying to talk about this episode and completely unable to not talk about a Highlander probably didn't enter his mind like in any way, shape, or form.
That would be a level of foresight beyond the current political climate.
And I'm sure he would say the same thing, all things considered.
I'd
rather I was wrong. Carlos. We'll call him Carlos. Maybe that'll help. Sheridan.
Carl. We'll call him Carl.
No, his name is Carlos. Sheridan and Carlos have arrived, and some other people too, but like whatever, at this place in space where weird shit is happening. And they're like, I mean, there's like no debris and there's nothing happening weird on the spectral analysis. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Nothing much to see is what they say. And Sheridan goes, at least it got us out of the house for a while, which feels like the second or third, maybe famous last words that he's I'll be back by then. What's the worst that could happen? At least it got us out of the house. Does he want to die? Is that what he wants?
On the topic of at least it got us out of the house.
Oh, no.
I can sympathize.
You never leave the house.
I don't get out of the house
you
much.
You don't leave the house.
Matt,
he's like,
can you run over to the gas station and get some liquor and gas? I got the liquor. I forgot to get the gas.
Yeah, it's because you're unsocialized. You just went out and you were like, oh, God.
I panicked at the checkout.
You started banging things on the counter. Sir, it's like that old...
No, there was a line of people behind me. And I realized as I was handing the card over, oh, shit, I forgot to ask for money on pump 3.
Well, you get gas and then you go in and pay.
Yeah.
I know. It's 1995 at that gas station. You just got to time travel back.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of the oatmeal cartoon where he's like the first year of working at home and he's like in clothes and he's in a fancy dress. The second one, he's like in sweats. And by the third one, he's a caveman and he's peed on himself. He's just like, no.
Yeah. And it's coming up on 6 years.
Wow.
Of working full-time remote.
If you start peeing on yourself, I'm leaving you.
Hey, I change my underwear every day.
Every day. You are so good at that. You are so good. Oh. Anyway, he's like, well, we'll head back to the barn. Let's just go home, I guess. Go ahead and activate homing beacons.
Famous last words.
And then that's what I said. He wants to die. He's like, I guess we'll just go home. And then this light appears.
Sheridan in particular should be aware of the horror tropes. These are the lines because he's so obsessed with secrets.
Oh, I thought you were like Bruce Boxleitner. He's been in Tron. I don't think he's been anything else.
No, just as a person who's obsessed with
Bruce
secrets.
Boxleitner is also a voice on the World War Z graphic audiobook.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. So he's like, oh my God, what the hell? And then they're like, evasive action. And then he gets immediately shot. He could have died.
Mm-hmm.
If they hadn't just cut his engines off,
right,
he could have died. And then he has to eject, and it swings
before
around to
his
grab
engine
him.
Explodes.
They swing around to grab him, and Carlos and other nameless. It kind of reminds me of when the Narn guys were getting blown up, and Jakar was like, "I'll remember your names," and then we've never mentioned them ever again. That's the other survey guys.
It reminds me of in a lot of the anime shows now. In the subtitles, when they have the character name for who's saying a particular line.
Yeah.
It'll be a number followed by a letter.
Okay.
And so I was watching a show with one of our children the other day, and I was like, do you know why they label it as like Hero 127E? No ideas about why that might be. Because it's episode 127.
And that's like a random guy.
And we increment A, B, C, D, E. This is the fifth.
Yeah.
The fifth, like, unnamed character, uncredited character. So they just give it 127E because it's episode 127 and it's unnamed character E. Boom.
I was watching a German language vampire television show.
What?
Okay. And it has the main character is the same actor who's apparently in this show called Maxton Hall. He's really handsome and probably too young for me, but like, anyway, I think it's called Love Bites. Fun fact, it's only available on the German website in German language, but if you put on the German subtitles and then you tell Chrome to translate the page.
Oh, this
it'll
reminds
translate the subtitles.
This reminds me of when I got on a VPN to Hong Kong and I could get all the K-drama shows streaming, and I did a hacky shell script with FFmpeg and ripped the the raw video file, and it didn't even have the watermark on it. That worked out great.
Yeah.
But with German stuff instead of Korean.
I just streamed it. You don't have to have a VPN to stream it. It's just only in German.
Right.
So I turned on the subtitles. I told Chrome to translate the subtitles. Voila, I can watch the German language vampire show.
Wow, there's a lot of kissing.
Listen, the critical point here is at the beginning, they put each character's name in the subtitles as a different color. And then throughout the rest of the episode, everyone who talked had their own color.
Man, the Germans are so far ahead of
I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about how our subtitles are bare fucking minimum. It didn't even occur to me that you could differentiate who was speaking by just changing the color of the subtitles.
Bullshit.
I was like, oh my, we have one of those moments where you're like,
a revelation,
an
epiphany,
a signs importance, where you're like, wow, I'm actually living in like 1970. The moments.
I think any interaction with Korean pop culture gives you some insight into, oh wow, they're living in the year 3000 already.
Yeah, I think millennials in particular, we grew up we're the elder millennials, but we grew up we went through school when, American propaganda being what it is, and then having no other way to really see the world outside of the propaganda you were being given. We're the city on a hill, we're the beacon, we are the thing that everyone desires to be, which is part of what you're told when you're at school. And it's not like I could go online and fact check that shit. And I think I've deconstructed a lot of that in my later life, but every once in a while you run into like, oh, okay, that's one that I haven't. That's a zit I haven't popped yet. Okay, yeah. That's a boil I haven't lanced. And the subtitle thing was like, oh, okay, we could actually do more for people that need subtitles. Okay, all right, okay. Who does more than they need to? It's Carlos in this episode that we are talking about. 100% talking about.
He could have ejected.
Well, he's like, I'm not leaving without the captain. And then he wrangles the other Star Fury pilot into going after the captain, and the other Star Fury pilot immediately gets killed. And then his ship gets damaged. And it's like power supply at 10%, damage to stabilizers.
His fusion reactor is leaking radiation.
And he goes, leak? How bad? And it's like radiation levels 35% beyond safe limits. And he goes, so how long until it's terminal?
They've already reached terminal levels.
I know, his ship is
Sorry,
like, you dead, bro. And it reminded me of that screwdriver experiment that you were telling me about. The guys that were keeping nuclear material apart with a screwdriver.
Yes. Yep.
And then the screwdriver slipped and they touched and it started reacting.
What did they call that? That was the...
And then he was like, okay, everybody mark where you're standing so they can track how quickly we die after this. Because he knew they were all going to die from radiation poisoning. But he doesn't have communications. He's stuck in a ship full of radiation, and pretty much the only thing he can do is head back so that he can tell them.
The demon core is what they called it.
A
sphere of plutonium that was involved in 2 fatal radiation accidents. Literally the same thing. They did it twice.
I bet you they were all men. It kind of
were.
After this, I'm banning the phrase "it kind of reminds me of" for the rest of the episode. But
okay,
it kind of reminds me of that scene in Mom and Dad Save the World when they have that grenade and you pick the grenade up and it makes you disappear. It kills you. And he's like, well, then you just don't pick it up. And the guy's like, yeah, but look. And on it, it says, pick me up. And he's like, that's never going to work.
Like you throw it as a grenade and the enemy picks it up.
Well, they make a fake bed. They make fake beds like they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And so when they pull it back, the light grenade is resting on the pillow. And the guy goes, pick me up. And he picks it up and he disappears immediately. And they're like, oh my God, what happened to him? And he looks down and he's like, oh, pick me up. Okay. And then you come back and they're all dead because they've all picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think men putting together scientific studies are like. I'm just kidding. Am I? Anyway, he does take the jump gate back. So he gets back in the jump gate and he's heading back to Babylon 5. And then we come back to Babylon 5 and it is Ivanova greeting Haig. And she's like, I apologize for the lack of an honor guard, but you kind of gave us instructions to skip it. And he's like, yeah, I'm really just here on a personal visit. I really just didn't want any of that fuss. I've never really liked it anyway. And he's like, I was told Captain Sheridan would be here. And Ivanova says he went to look into a problem in an outer sector. He should be back anytime. And then Haig goes, he's never late. This isn't like him. Dude, you arrived early.
Right.
So you are, in fact, early. He is not, in fact, late. But
a wizard arrives precisely when he means to.
Sentiment understood, but also like, okay. And they're like, wow, we haven't been able to reach him or talk to him. And he's disappeared off all scanners and we don't have any communication. But we're sure he's going to show up anytime now. What's the worst that could happen?
It'll be fine.
He just went,
don't worry about it,
to go
as my mother-in-law
this,
says.
Like, whatever thing, you know, a transport disappeared and like there were lights and shit. I don't know.
These things happen.
These things do happen. He's like, this is probably fine. It's probably fine. And then we come back to Sheridan, who is in fact completely fine, except that he's membraned to a table.
He's alive?
He's fleshed to a table. What is restricting this man to this table?
Have you ever seen the movie Fire in the Sky?
No. I've watched Communion, and I feel like that's probably enough.
Think about Communion, but a little more plausible.
Oh, no. That's not, the bar for that is so.
Right. The bar is low for more plausible than Communion.
Yeah.
But him being like restrained on the table kind of reminds me of Fire in the Sky.
It reminds you of any alien abduction show.
I probably saw at far too young of an age.
Well, my real question here is, what is the point of this? What is the point of this?
Filler.
I mean,
this is the B plot.
I get it, but also this is a big B plot. This isn't like, ho ho, there's a plucky child ring of theft people that were busting on Babylon 5. This is, there's an entire race that not only kidnaps a bunch of people, but then shoots them out into space in front of Ivanova.
You know what I think this demonstrates?
What?
The level of investment of the Vorlons into Sheridan.
Okay. All right. Yes, it gives Kosh a moment where John Sheridan isn't doing a whole bunch of shit, and he can just be like, hey, let me go send you some visions.
We have circumstantial evidence of the Vorlons directly interfering in Sheridan's plot.
Yeah.
To ensure his survival.
You think that they interfered to how?
I think that's why he had the vision with Kosh in it.
Yeah, but how did that keep him alive?
Because they interfered.
How so?
By motivating him to escape from the prison cell that he was in.
I think he was motivated anyway.
He was motivated. But I think they stuck their fingers in there just to make sure.
Okay, you think part of how he got out was through Vorlon intervention?
Vorlon intervention into his psyche.
Okay.
So that he would act in such a way that he would escape.
All I put for this section is, why is he moist? Because he's quite
human.
He's quite moist. He's like, my name is
the
John
North
Sheridan,
Carolina of
Captain,
spaceships.
Earth Force. And then this probulator, I don't know what else you want to describe it as, comes down from the ceiling and he's like, no! And then we come back and it's Delenn. And she's arrived in the council. And honestly,
summoned, I take the place that has been prepared for me.
Honestly,
I am gray. I stand between the candle and the star.
They do her dirty. Because she's
So
delivering
dirty.
these lines like, where is everybody? And
Right?
then he's like, they're not coming, Delenn.
She's been the presumptive leader of the Grey Council. Like the last few times she's been here.
Yeah.
And now
they're throwing little baby man tantrums because it's all men besides Delenn.
because she's gone through some kind of transition.
She's hysterical now.
She needs a seaside
She's become a hysterical
cocaine
woman.
vibrator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vibrator. Well, she's like, where the fuck are they? And he's like, they're not coming. She's like, but I was summoned.
They will not come, Delenn.
But I was summoned.
To receive judgment, yes. Not to appear as one of the 9.
I'm entitled to a hearing. I'm allowed to defend myself.
That was before you disobeyed us. You were told to wait before taking this action, before becoming alien to us.
And he's like, yeah, to receive judgment, but not to appear as one of the 9. And she says, I'm entitled to a hearing. I'm allowed to defend myself. And they're like, no.
If a single person loses due process, then everyone loses due process.
It's a dangerous precedent.
Yeah.
They don't seem concerned with it, though.
That they will not give her like a formal hearing.
Yeah. And you know why? Because now she's not Minbari. Before becoming alien to us. And I said, yes. And now you're all throwing a tantrum. He goes, you've been away from us for too long, Delenn. Your contact with the humans has changed more than your appearance. You are no longer one of us.
One of us. One of us.
And she says, my heart hasn't changed. And he goes, we no longer know your heart. I'm like, yeah, but did you ever?
Are you fucking listening, bro?
I'm sorry, but
I did not fucking stutter.
Are you me? Do you know me? Are you in my head? Are you living my life? Oh, then I don't actually think you get an opinion about whether or not you think I've changed. Sorry. I'm the foremost expert on me. And he's like, sorry, council's voted to remove you from our presence. From this day forth, you're no longer a member of the Grey Council. No longer Satai. Sorry. And she's like, wait. What about my appointment to Babylon 5? My position as ambassador is separate from the role of Satai. And he's like, meh, we're still talking about it. It is your right to make a statement before the 9 if you wish. Oh, is it now? Now?
Thank you. I think you'll find.
Right now I can do it, but not before? Oh, okay. About this, but not that? Cool. That makes tons of sense. Great. Glad you're doing so great without me there. And she's like, it is actually. Thank you.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out for him.
And he goes, Delenn says, may I ask who was chosen to replace me? And he's like, no, I'll convene the 9. When we're ready, you'll be summoned. And then we come back and it's General Haig. And he's like, have we talked to Captain Sheridan? And they're like, no.
We have not heard from Captain Sheridan.
And then the jump gate turns on and it is the wrong color. It's yellow. It's supposed to be blue when they're coming out.
Blue when they're coming into normal space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's like, oh, is that one of the survey ships? And they're like, oh, yeah.
Maybe that's how dysfunctional the ship is. It opened to the jump gate in the wrong direction.
Oh, except you can, it's I'm gonna it's
just
fine.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's fine. And they're like, okay, she's on autopilot, minimal life signs. And then they're like, to med lab, priority 1. This is a priority 1. And then we go back and it's Sheridan and he's like, why are you doing this to me? And he has blood coming down from this poke hole in his face.
Yeah, he has a couple little poke holes in his face.
He has like random dots later where they're just like, boop.
They look like
boop,
moles.
Boop. I tortured you there and I tortured you there and I tortured you there. And then he's like, at least tell me what you want. Notably, they never talk to him. And then this guy shows up. It's a Drazi. And he says that device, and then he says a word, and it's supposed to be Sheridan trying to speak Drazi.
Doshvan? Zatrak? Zatrak is what the other guy says.
Nushakar.
Yeah, Nushakar, and then he says Doshvan.
He's supposed to be trying to speak other languages, which we haven't really... Everybody just speaks common.
I mean, he's the diplomat's son.
But a lot of JMS's time and attention was spent to clarifying that Sheridan is trying to speak another language and why Sheridan would have even a passing familiarity with Drazi or Narn. And he was like, he's out, he's in space. He has picked up a lot of bits and pieces of different languages.
Right. He's the child of a diplomat.
Yeah.
Of course, he's been educated on languages.
Right. And then, he worked with the Narn during the war. Everybody worked with the Narn during the war.
Yeah.
The Drazi are everywhere. I don't fucking know. He just knows a couple of words in every language. Okay. Kind of like I know a little bit of Spanish. I know a little bit of other things. Enough to get me into trouble in about 3 languages. I can speak some passing phrases in Spanish or French. And some Japanese. Beyond, and that's the extent of my experience. Whatever the phrase that you use to annoy our daughter.
Ah, so desu ka.
Yeah, that one.
She hates it. Apparently the so is actually a brand in England.
Oh.
There's a whole brand of stuff called so.
They also have Wimpies. You remember the guy from
from
Popeye who I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
I'll gladly pay you next Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yeah.
Guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Wimpy's exists because they didn't trademark it.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Go for it.
But, so is like...
It's like Canadian Harveys.
It's a trope in anime, in Japanese.
Like, omo.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Korean.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me about Korean. My friend was asking me about Korean demon hunters, K-pop demon hunters.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, did you know that Saja means like lion in Korean? And also it can be used for king. Like it's sometimes synonymous with king. I went off on a whole thing about it. So I was like, yeah, I watched it. It's fine. Anyway. And then an Narn guy shows up and he's like, kill me. And Sheridan's like, no. And then he punches him and knocks him out and breaks like 4 ribs. The fuck, Sheridan? Did he take smash lessons from Sinclair before Sinclair left? No, because if Sinclair had punched the Narn, he'd have died.
Right.
Like you ruptured a lung.
This is a very low level Sinclair smash.
Yeah. It's just like the bear. Maybe you inherit that power.
He hasn't refined it yet.
Maybe you inherit that power when you take over Babylon 5. It's like taking on the mantle, like the mantle of like the winter night or whatever from
the Dresden Files.
Because we needed another prop. You know what's funny is I used to list out all the properties that we would reference in an episode. And it finally got so it was taking me too long and I just stopped doing it. But then we come back and it's Dr. Franklin trying to save Ramirez.
And he's like really invested.
I know. They're like, how's he doing? And he's like, he soaked up a lot of radiation. And Garibaldi's like, you mean like radiation that radiates from a person? Like it could contaminate this whole place if he sucked up that much? And Dr. Franklin goes, how about you don't tell me my business and I won't tell you yours, which is not an answer.
How's he doing?
All right, you soaked up a lot of radiation. You have to be careful or it'll contaminate the whole place.
Stephen, if he sucked up that much radiation...
Look, don't tell me my business and I won't tell you yours. Start a full body transfusion. I need more region packs. You get them in the Waldos, you line them up. Now move!
Doc!
Ramirez, don't try to talk. You're gonna be all right, okay?
I guess I won't collect the 30 credit.
Ramirez!
It does not answer Garibaldi's question. And he goes, start a full body transfusion. What do you mean a full body transfusion? Do you put blood in both of his toes and both of his fingers and his forehead? Like just pump it in from every single limb all at once?
Yeah, pretty much.
And he goes, I need more regen packs, line them up. And they're like, guy, dude, come on. It's not going to work. And then Ramirez goes, Doc. And he looks over and he goes, Ramirez, don't try to talk. You're going to be all right, okay? And he goes, I guess I won't collect the 30 credits. And then he just goes, He literally, if he had his tongue hang out, it would have made it would have been the cherry on top of this otherwise, what the fuck performance. He just goes, hey. I encourage everyone to go watch it.
Is it better or worse than Paul Rubens in Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Oh, Paul Rubens is the standard. Like
right.
the gold standard.
For the dramatic death sequence.
That makes sense, though. Like that fits his character. It fits Paul Rubin. It's part of the persona. It's everything. It's perfection. And then Ramirez is just like, well, I've already got my ham sandwich.
Right.
I checked my bank account
to the side and his tongue goes out.
The check cleared, so just I encourage everyone to go watch it because it's horrific. It's so bad. It's so bad. And then Richard Biggs has to act like this guy can act. He's like, Ramirez, no!
It's almost like a balance of how badly Ramirez's death scene goes and how dramatically
it makes it comical.
Richard Biggs acts it out.
What if Doc, I have something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Then he just dies. He's like, we finished going over the data record from his Star Fury. It looks like an alien ship took the captain. Okay, glad we stay focused even just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
It's an unknown configuration. We don't know where it came from and we don't know where it's growing. So great.
And then we go back to Delenn.
The juxtaposition of this A plot and this B plot, when you're watching it, you're like, okay, And then when you have to sit here and talk about it, you're like, the fuck?
20 cycles. That's like 3 weeks, right?
20 hours, I think, actually. Could be 20 days.
So Delenn has been...
Could be just shy of 3 weeks. We don't know.
She's been one of the 9 for 20 cycles. That's a couple weeks.
Really hard to say, honestly.
Minbari cycles. Drazi cycles. Earth cycles.
B5 cycles. That one episode with the thing that white people's brains cycles, I don't fucking know. That's the one that's the outlier that we should probably delete from the data set.
Yeah.
That you have 270 cycles or whatever he said he had, some crazy number. I don't know. It's fine. She's like, listen, I've been in one of the 9 for a long time.
Yep.
A long time. At least 10 years. We know it's at least 10 years because she was there at the beginning of the war.
Yeah.
I called many of you friends. So thanks for that. Thanks for making me believe you were my friends and then being total bitches about this. And now you call me outcast.
For 20 cycles, I stood beside you as one of the 9. I called many of you friends. And now you call me outcast. You know me. You know I believe in the task that is before us, the great war that is coming. I have not turned my back on you. In trying to help, I have sacrificed all that I was and all that I am. We can no longer allow ourselves to be separated by names and borders. Our two sides must unite or be destroyed. Do not make my sacrifice a vain one. Allow me to finish what I started. In the name of our friendship and the future of our people, let me remain with Babylon 5.
Pulling a Caesar, stabbing me in the back.
Et tu, Brute. And I did read a thing about Et tu, Brute, where we read it as you too, Brutus. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, seriously?
Oh, yeah, but it wasn't Brutus.
No, but it was more like, they're going to do this to you too.
Yeah.
You too, Brutus. She goes, you know me. You know I believe in the task that's before us. The Great War is coming back, and I have not turned my back on you. Like, they know she is trying to fulfill this prophecy that was given to them.
Right, but it's not how they wanted her to do it.
Right.
So they reject her.
Right, because she is...
Because it's a patriarchy.
Because the only culture for white people is compliance.
Yes, white culture is compliance.
Especially white women, we don't have a culture. We only have compliance. And if you are not compliant, you are not in alignment with the culture, you are ousted. You are outcast.
But from my perspective, it's not just women. And as soon as I show up with a mohawk and painted fingernails,
they are intimidated by your beard.
Only the women want to talk to me.
Oh, how hard for you.
Honestly, best outcome. Except when the men are the one making the decisions. What the fuck?
You mean all the time?
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
That was very Delenn defeatist of me from the very beginning. I need to be linear optimist about this. That's not the way it should be.
You need to be like Ivanova level enforcement of this.
We haven't even gotten to the dream. It's going to take us an hour to get through the dream, and we're not even there yet. Anyway.
Let's keep going.
She's like, do you know what I have sacrificed for you guys? I gave up everything that I was, everything that I am. Do you know what I have to do every 28 days now? Do you know what I go through? She's like, we can't afford this. We can't allow ourselves to be separated by names and borders. We can't think of ourselves as two sides anymore, or we're going to die. Do not make my sacrifice be a vain one. You have to let me finish what I started.
Mm-hmm.
So in the name of our friendship, what we used to be and what we could be, the future of our people, let me stay with Babylon 5. And their new leader is like, oh, yeah, I'm more than happy to let you stay with the humans. Nobody else wants to go hang out with that filth. And she's like, oh, you're the one who has chosen to replace me? I don't know you.
Is Neroon the leader?
Neroon's the leader. The other guy's not Neroon. The guy that we talked to before is not Neroon.
Right. I just thought Neroon was the one who replaced Delenn. I didn't know he was also the leader.
Yeah, because she says you chose a new leader. Who is it? And they're like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. And it's Neroon. And she's like, hold on. I don't know you. And he goes, oh, you do. And he takes his hood off. And she's like, Neroon, the fuck? He's a warrior caste. What are you doing? Now there's too many warrior caste. Mm-hmm. Which means there's fewer.
It's not balanced.
It means there's fewer religious castes than any others now. 2 religious castes, 3 workers, and 4 warriors.
Right.
She goes, when Valen called the 9 together, he chose 3 from the worker caste, 3 from the religious caste, and 3 from the warrior caste.
Mm-hmm.
You should have replaced me with a warrior caste. 4 from the warrior caste gives them unprecedented power. And I said, oh, no.
They cannot be allowed to set policy.
I said, oh, no, did they stack the court? They're like, why not? It was the warrior caste who died in the war against the Earthers, warrior caste who have defended our world for centuries while the council floated among the stars, isolated from its own people. And she's like, okay, but this is wrong.
Naroon is not the leader.
Who's the leader?
Jenimer.
Oh, well, they
Of the
imply
religious
in this
caste.
one that...
He's the one who replaced Delenn, but he was not elected leader.
Okay.
This says Jenimer was appointed leader in 2259.
I just think it's funny that he has a naming convention. Delenn Naroon,
secret,
and he doesn't tell anybody what it
naming
means.
convention for like phonemes of Minbari names.
Yeah.
And he will not tell anyone what the naming convention is.
And Naroon is like, you said there's a prophecy coming, Great War is coming, so shouldn't the warrior caste lead us against us? And she's like, yeah, but you shouldn't set policy. And he's like, oh, have you done any better? Did you do better? Because when I was inducted into this circle, I was told the reason we were ordered to surrender, and I didn't know whether to laugh or weep. And I have to say, I am a little disappointed that the warrior caste isn't like, it's fine that we surrendered because victory was so assured.
Mm-hmm.
Humans were not even a threat.
Right. This wasn't even an honorable fight.
No, it was like squashing a bug. I'm sorry I stopped you from pouring ant killer on the anthill. Like, I don't... Shut the fuck up about it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's done. It's 10 years done.
Right. At this point, any value that you have associated with the human Minbari war is just performative. You're just doing it for your own ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, if we had been told the truth, then we never would have surrendered.
Oh, so you would have rebelled against your whole society.
Right. And Delenn's like, you really don't get it. And he's like, well, what I do get is that there's a creature before me that I don't recognize. 1 foot in 2 worlds, an affront to the purity of our race.
If we had been told the truth then, we never would have surrendered.
You do not understand.
I understand that before me is a creature I do not recognize. 1 foot in 2 worlds. You are an affront to the purity of our race. And your belief that you are satisfying prophecy is presumption of the highest order. And yet, it is true that you are now the perfect liaison between us and the Earthers. You have no home with either of us. So please, act out your fantasy. Be our go-between. Return to Babylon 5. And stay there.
Purity of essence.
I can't. Shh. We have to keep going.
Fluoride in the water.
We have to keep going. It always reminds me of that time.
Dr. Strangelove.
One of the people that you used to be related to posted about fluoride on Facebook, and I just put purity of essence underneath, and she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, I'm not going to explain it.
Yeah.
And I did put next to, you're an affront to the purity of our race. Oh, yay, look. A wave of fascism.
And the introduction of eugenics.
Well, it's like there's a rise in fascism in the Earth government. There's a rise of fascism in the Centauri government. There's a rise of fascism in the Minbari government.
Authoritarianism is a common response, like cultural reflex to uncertainty, but also pathogens.
What do you mean pathogens? Is this like guns, germs, and steel?
Like COVID.
Okay.
Like a plague.
Yeah.
A documented common cultural response to a pathogen, like a plague, is a rise in authoritarianism.
It feels a bit like that Watchman's Rattle.
Yeah.
Where we literally, we
Watchman's
cannot handle...
Rattle outlines a lot of the mechanisms.
Yeah, because we can only handle a certain level of complexity. So once we reach a critical mass of problems, we can no longer conceptualize of solutions. And so we literally abandon reason and turn to religion.
Yeah.
It's a reflex. It's not anything that we have any control over because we think we are incredibly complicated creatures. And we are to a certain extent. but we are not as mentally sophisticated as we believe we are.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like what happened with the Mayans when they had these really sophisticated, they were incredibly sophisticated. And then as soon as they hit a drought, a long-term drought, they
had
abandoned
aqueducts before the Romans did.
Right. They abandoned the science. They abandoned the solutions that were going to save them. And they started asking the gods to send them rain.
Right. And doing human sacrifices.
As
part
and
of
things.
that.
And that's just, it was the tail end of their civilization.
It was a societal, human cultural response to an overwhelming number of pervasive problems in society.
Yeah.
Just in the condition of living in the world that they were in. And you get overwhelmed. You drop back down to something that you can have some more confidence in, like
religion.
A charismatic religious leader.
Asking Sky Daddy to fix it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it feels like the Minbari are doing, is we've reached this level of involvement in other races that we don't know where to go from here.
Complexity is overwhelming.
So we're just going
to fall
to
back to very simple solutions.
Correct, yeah.
That end up undermining the cultural fabric.
Right. And that's what's happening, I think, across the board in a lot of the civilizations that we see in Babylon 5.
In Babylon 5, yes.
In Babylon
absolutely.
5, yes, yeah.
And only there.
Also, yes. Also, yes, but also, yes. So, I think it's applicable to Babylon 5. I think that's why you're seeing, the Earth government is doing that. The Minbari government is doing that. The Centauri government is doing that.
And why it feels so plausible.
Right, because it's a thing that definitely can and is and has happened in the past. And your belief that you are satisfying prophecy is the highest presumption. Okay, so who else around here has turned into half human? Hello, anybody want to raise their hand? Okay, so we don't know exactly what the...
We all know what needs to happen.
Right.
And I'm the only one with the balls to do it.
Right. I'm sorry that you weren't willing to do what it took, but and I was, and I shamed you with my ability to see beyond the quote purity of the race towards what fucking needed to be done, and I did it, but not my problem, bro. Sorry that ultimately I'm a higher value person than you are. How about you quit having a little temper tantrum about it like a little bitch? That's what it feels like. That's what I want. That's what I want Delenn to do. I want Delenn to be like...
She's an alpha satai.
I just want her to be like, who else is going to do this? What did you think? Someone was going to wake up half human and that's how the prophecy was going to be fulfilled? How do you think prophecy gets fulfilled?
People doing shit.
Do they actually believe in prophecy? Do they have a prophecy?
Well, there is time travel.
Okay, so when you have a fantasy world and someone has prophecy, you're like, okay, there are people who can see the future. Somebody saw the future and wrote shit down.
Right.
Okay, so do the Minbari have a tradition of prophecy? Do they have people who can see into the future and who have written down prophecy before? Or is this their one and only prophecy?
Somebody had a psychic who could see the future. She came to Babylon 5 and was like, fire and death.
Oh, that was the Centauri lady.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the guy with the
there
eye.
is a precedent for being able to see decently far into the future.
Right. But do the Minbari have that?
They have a prophecy.
Okay.
Well, I think this prophecy came from Valen.
Well,
right?
We don't know. We can't have this discussion yet. Because we know where the prophecy comes from. We don't know yet where the prophecy comes from in story. So we can't really discuss it yet. But they have every reason to know that this came from
a reputable source.
This isn't necessarily a prophecy. It was somebody writing down what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? And so how did they think that? It's fine. I'm not going to beat this dead horse to death. But they keep reiterating prophecy will attend to itself. Okay, but it harkens back to your philosophy class where you're like, okay, sit here until an exterior force gets you out of the chair.
Yeah.
Just wait. Wait till God gets you out of the chair. Okay, why are you still in the chair? Oh, because God isn't actually going to come get you out of the chair. The prophecy isn't actually going to fulfill itself. You have to do it.
But it would be really uncomfortable to change into a half human.
Which is why none of the dudes did it. Which is why only Delenn was like, fine, I'll fucking do it. Great. I'll take the L. I'll do it. Because
Take one for the team.
Because I know that ultimately I'm
galaxy.
saving the universe.
Yeah.
And you're not. So sorry. And he's like, you are now the perfect liaison between us and the Earthers. So like you did this. I don't like that you did this, but it kind of makes you perfect for where you are.
It is true you're the perfect liaison.
Because you have no home with either of us. So please act out your fantasy. Be our go-between. Return to Babylon 5 and stay there. Act out your fantasy? Bitch, do you know who you are talking to? Do you have... No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
No. And Delenn doesn't put him in his place. And I'm a little... mad. I want Delenn written now is different.
Yeah.
Delenn written now is like, okay, all right, you may think this is a fantasy, but she would pull a veer. Someday I'm going to remind you of this conversation and you're going to understand. Yeah. You're going to understand who I am and what I did for you and what I have sacrificed and how little you have sacrificed and how small you actually are.
Yeah.
And I'm going to rub your fucking face in it.
Do you want to stay with the Delenn story?
I mean, we can finish it because there's a lot of hippie hop in here. Because really, ultimately, what happens is
she walks back out.
She leaves.
Yeah, Linear refers to her as Satai.
And she's like, I'm not
only
Satai
Delenn
anymore
from now on.
And he's like, okay, but like, I love you. And he doesn't say that, but he goes, she's like, you can stay
is
here.
Very wise.
She's like, you can stay here. You don't need to come with me. You can just stay here. And he's like, I'm sorry. Did I fucking stutter? I'm coming with you. I'm your best friend for life. I'm your Biffle Linear. Why would I go? He actually says, I have sworn myself to your side.
The Great Council feels that I can best serve our people by staying on Babylon 5. They feel very positively about it.
The Council is very wise.
Yes, of course. You do not have to go back with me, Linear. You could go home. You could be free of all this. Return to your studies, to your family.
Where you walk, I will walk. I have sworn myself to your side.
You do not know. You cannot know what you're saying.
Yes, I do. Come what may, Delenn. I will not leave you while I am still alive.
And JMS directly addressed this, and he said that is a formal thing that they do, where they will swear themselves to a person. So a Minbari will swear themselves to another Minbari or to, whatever. But once they've said that, once they've done that, it's like a life debt, like Chewbacca and Han.
Yeah.
Like they have to be together forever. He can never leave her side now.
Right.
He is sworn to her forever. I mean, he can leave her side and like he can go on errands and shit, but he can't. He's with her. This is it. We're in life together, which is great. I appreciate that. I loves me a good honor culture. I am yours forever. I owe you a life debt, but also like, what if you don't like the person?
Right? What if they change? What if they make some bad decisions where you find out?
What if they're not the kind of person you would ever want sworn to you? What if they're like really professionally helpless? What if they're professionally helpless and they're like, I swear myself to you, and you're like, oh shit, great. Now I'm cooking dinner for you for the rest of my life. Like this fucking sucks.
I've sworn myself to you, Rachel.
I know, and I'm cooking dinner for you for the rest of my fucking life because you lit a pretzel on fire in the microwave. That's your level of skill.
But I can remove the trim, flash a window, and replace the trim.
Division of labor.
Yeah.
I think about that sometimes because from the outside, we have a very trad wife. We have a very trad wife life where you work full time. Mm-hmm. I stay at home. I have my quirky little hobby of podcasting that doesn't make us any money, but he isn't that cute. She has a hobby. And I also cook and clean and do the laundry.
You run the business of the family.
Right. That's where I'm getting. And I do a lot of sewing. I'm particularly adept at the feminine art of handicrafts. Yeah. So from the outside, we look like a total trad couple. Mm-hmm. But it's not that. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's not that. If I didn't cook dinner, you wouldn't be mad. You wouldn't be like, what if you came home and it was Hamburger Helper? Like, you sent me that reel where the guy was like, he stitched somebody who was like, what if you're at work all day and you come home and it's Hamburger Helper, and he stitched it and he's like, then I'd eat that shit up. I love Hamburger Helper. I would eat that all fucking day. I don't care. He's like, I'd eat a peanut butter sandwich. I don't give a shit. She made it for me, and I'm thankful. And I'm thankful every fucking day that she's there and she's with me and that she takes care of me and that I take care of her and that we're in this life together.
Right.
Right, because I'm never going to flash a window. Could I? Probably.
Yeah.
Would I want to? No. You do. Could you cook dinner? Yeah, probably. Do you want to? No. So, division of labor. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
We just do the thing that we are most inclined to do, and it ends up working out. It fits together.
Mm-hmm. Give and take.
Give and take, exactly. And Delenn is like, you don't know. Like, you don't know what you're saying. You don't know who you're swearing yourself to. And he's like, don't do that to me. Of course I know what I'm doing. Come what may, Delenn, I will not leave you while I am still alive. And she tells him, remember when you first came to me and you would not look up, and I ordered you to look up, but it did no good because even when you were looking up, you were still looking down.
I could see it in your eyes.
And she's like, look at me, Lanier. Actually look up this time, because very soon I will be going into darkness and fire.
The prophecy.
I do not know if I'm fated to walk out again. If it is your choice to come with me, then I could not wish for a better, a braver companion.
Because she doesn't believe for a minute that prophecy is attending to itself. She knows she's in the middle of it and that it's happening. Yeah. The wheel of prophecy is already turning.
Yeah.
And I could not wish for a better or braver companion is so sweet.
Yeah.
And that's basically where they end. They're done after that. I think they come back and we talk to them later, but I think that's them on the ship.
She gets back to Babylon 5. And she knows about what's happening.
Oh yeah, she helps with the okay, well we'll come back to them when they re-overlap.
Yeah, that's when the plot lines merge.
Because we go back to what's happening with Sheridan. Which it's
and he tells the guy he broke his ribs.
I know, he's like, hey, I punched you a little bit hard. I think I broke your ribs. I may have even punctured your lung. But while the guy was laying there unconscious, he removed whatever device was on the outside of his head. So I guess good for him that it was just cosmetic. It's just stuck to the outside.
Right.
Not, he pulled on it and a huge chunk of
like filaments come out.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's not good. Oh, no.
Oops.
Oopsie doodle.
Well, his lung was punctured anyway. He probably wasn't going to make it.
At least he won't kill me now. And he's like, I took it apart on the chance that it was self-repairing. And then the guy just goes, he's like, no water. Reminds me of at night when my son's like, I'm not getting you water. That's all he does. And he's like, I haven't seen anybody but you and one other, the Drazi guy who
disappeared
and ultimately dies because the only survivors are Sheridan and this Narn guy.
Right.
He's like, this whole place could be running on automatic for all I know. Do we have any idea why we're here? And they're like, I don't know, experiments, analyze. And I wrote the only important note from this whole section is sci-fi in the 90s must have accounted for 85% of all flexible tubing sold. Because the background is just the like corrugated tubes, regular tubes, all spray painted. Mm-hmm. And then some sort of like fleshy membrane looking thing. He's like, I don't know. I guess it's a research facility. I love how unfleshed out this is. They're like, I don't know. It's like a ship. It like flies around and gets people and shit. I don't know. And then even JMS was like, yeah, they're not coming back. Like, I'm never going to bring these aliens back. This is it. It was a one-off thing. So it's just the most like, it feels kind of like a nod to, we've had a couple of jokes. Mm-hmm. You know, I demand reparations because his ancestors abducted my ancestors.
Yeah.
But we haven't
the
had
court scene, yeah.
We haven't had a nod to like the traditional, oh shit, the aliens that abduct people type of thing.
Right.
And this is it. This is the nod to like sci-fi, but the UFO sci-fi.
Yeah.
They're out there kind of sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like a nod to not X-Files, but X-Files would have been the other UFO type property that was popular at this time.
Yeah.
So this is the
this feels like a Very X-Files plot.
And it's so BS. Like, it's such bullshit. I mean, I love filler. I love it. It's fine. But it's not even really character development because it's Dr. Franklin doing something I don't for a minute believe Dr. Franklin would do, which is mourn a guy that he met at the bar that afternoon. Like, I don't believe for a second that he cares. And then Sheridan, it may just be so Sheridan can meet this Narn guy. Because this guy does come back. And I guess he's one of the few Narn that we meet that are like,
a recurring
really
character.
Respectful of Sheridan and really like a mutual, you saved my life. I respect that you didn't give up because Sheridan is like, the first duty of any captive is to escape. And then our guy's like, I'm sorry, but the only escape is death. We're not leaving unless we die. And he's like, no, I don't want to hear that. That's defeatist attitude. We're going to figure this shit out. Because he's like, they want to push us, see how much pain we can stand, how well we fight, blah, blah, blah. That's really, that's the whole point.
It's all speculation.
It's all speculation. And we never get any kind of a confirmation of this.
Except from Delenn later.
They do fist bump, though. I love that moment. And he's like, why'd you ask me to kill you before, actually? And then Arn's like, because there is no escape. It's better to die. We don't know how long this guy's been on there. A while, because we saw him get captured at the very beginning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we go.
The inspiration for Sheridan to go out and investigate.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's nothing happening. It's totally fine. There's no problems. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. And then back to Babylon 5. They saw they noticed. Oh, it's like it's collecting specimens.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. A number of specimens that they release. There's like 20 or 30 bodies that they end up shooting out into space.
Yeah.
All of those are things that went missing. So,
right?
There's no. How long has it been capturing specimens? How long has it been traveling around the universe?
How many of those bodies were already dead before they
We don't know.
them?
It's just we only go because we're investigating this one area of space where this keeps happening.
Right.
And this thing didn't use a jump gate. It like appeared. Oh, maybe it did use a jump gate.
Yeah.
Okay. It made its own jump gate.
Yeah.
So it can jump in and out. How is it getting into all these different places to kidnap all of these transports? Oh no. It's fine. It's just it's levels of unbelievability. The fact that nobody knew that all of these people were going missing. Nobody correlated all of these mysterious disappearances. And then Sheridan was like, well, I mean, how bad can it be? What's a mysterious disappearance among friends? Maybe they're having a rave out there and they just don't want to be found.
Well,
I don't know.
He probably expected it's not happening like in the same place or like in a pattern. So I'm probably not going to find anything.
Right.
But we'll just take a look on the off chance.
Well, but then they say, have you talked to any of the alien governments? Because with these attacks, they have an interest in stopping this.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you didn't ask any of the alien governments. No alien government was like, hey, guys, a couple of our ships have just gone randomly missing. Is anybody else having this problem? Oh, shit, me too.
Well,
that's really weird.
The reports of missing ships may have been coming from other
one transport.
alien
We only
governments.
mentioned one missing transport. And that everybody else just saw bright lights.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It's fine. It's just not the best written little side story. It's kind of, it would be better if it was funny almost, but it's not. It's treated as super serious. And yet it has it's never going to come back. And I don't know, but it's fine. It's fine. And then the jump gate turns on and General Haig is like, hey, so
called in the cavalry.
I got the Agamemnon because it's the fastest thing around. And I just thought, does no one tell Ivanova anything? Was he not like, oh, by the way, I contacted the Agamemnon. It might be showing up. She's just like, oh, good. Yeah, sure. Come on. Join the party. One more thing that I didn't know about.
Right. They should have at least told Ivanova that he called the Agamemnon.
Yeah.
But he may not have known if they were going to
show up. And then we get to what is the actual purpose of this side story. This is it. This is the first.
The dream.
The dream. And it is the first moment that Sheridan has been open enough. He's in enough of a state that he's receptive to the dream. And first he sees Ivanova with a giant raven on her shoulder. And she goes, "Do you know who I am?"
Do you know who I am?
And a lot of attention was given in the forum to different cultures that use ravens as iconography.
Okay.
Like Odin's ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And he just listed them. He did not point out like what might have been.
JMS was just pointing out all the different cultures that
they
use ravens.
got pointed out. Sometimes it's not clear if it's in response to a question because what's only thing that's copied usually is just the answer.
Okay.
So we don't know why a raven, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It looks super badass because Ivan was like, "Do you know who I am?" And then Garibaldi just goes, he appears like a light shines on Garibaldi. And it's like, "The man in between is searching for you."
The man in between is searching for you.
And then Ivanova says, "You are the hand." And then Sheridan himself shows up. Well, Sheridan shows up and he's like, "Why are you here?" And Kosh goes, "We were never away." And this is when he says, "For the first time, your mind is quiet enough to hear me."
Why are you here? We were never away. For the first time, your mind is quiet enough to hear me. Why am I here? You have always been here.
And this is relevant for a couple of reasons. JMS said that the Sheridan in his dream is supposed to represent Sheridan from another time in his life.
Okay.
So it's kind of like we're all sort of different people based on what events we've already gone through.
Mhm.
This is a different Sheridan because he's gone through more than the Sheridan in the dream.
Okay.
And then Kosh is supposed to be, he was like, astute listeners will realize that Kosh's voice is getting more emotive. And he said that Kosh is reacting emotionally to information that we don't have yet.
Okay.
And so he, JMS, had to personally coach Ardwhite Chamberlain on how he should sound for all of Kosh's lines because only JMS knew what Kosh was reacting to.
Okay.
Can we talk for a minute about how fucking wild it is that he made sure that Kosh sounded concerned about a thing that hasn't happened yet that only JMS knew would happen? So he even made sure that that would stay consistent. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's what when I'm telling people, I'm like, Babylon 5 was so unprecedented in its time. And for him to have thought through all of that, because this is the first time anybody's ever made a TV show like this. And for him to have even thought through the way Kosh sounds is pretty cool.
Yeah. So that upon later rewatching, you realize, oh.
Yeah.
Kosh was talking about that.
Yeah. And then Sheridan, the dream Sheridan, is like, "Why am I here?" And Kosh goes, "You have always been here." And then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, right. I can just lever the door open."
Yeah, he realizes there's a gap underneath.
Yeah, and that he can lift it. And he can't lift it, and then the Narn guy starts to help, which is fine, except that the Narn guy is, he has broken ribs.
Right.
He's like, "It's fine, I can help you." And this is when the Delenn, Lanier, Sheridan story all comes together. Because Delenn is flying back, and they're like, "Oh, great, Delenn, we needed to ask you a question. Have you seen this ship?" And she's like, "Oh, those sons of bitches? Yeah, we know about them.
God damn it, I know who those assholes are."
They were called the Stribes, which is a reference to Whitley Strieber. He's like, "Over the years, they've sent out ships to investigate defenses and acquire samples of any life forms they encountered. And so their last expedition was into Minbari space. We tracked them back to their homeworld and made sure they understood the depth of their mistake."
Apparently not well enough.
Well, like,
I guess well enough that they don't go back to Minbari space.
"Can you get the coordinates for their world?" And she's like, "Hell yeah,
I have them memorized.
I got them right here." And then we go back because it's Sheridan and the Narn escaping. And they shoot the ship with everybody still on it.
Right? And I think they're just going for disabling
Well,
shots.
they're like, only acquire external targets, but you don't know. You've never
You're not
seen
familiar
this.
with this.
You've never seen this
Unless-
ship configuration
unless
before.
Delenn's report had info about how their ship was designed.
Maybe. But you think they'd target like the engine.
Right.
Well, even that could blow it up because you don't know what type of engine they have. You'd think, did they threaten them first and then they got no responses? I don't know.
We don't see much of that. The background communication.
We just see Delenn taking out her aggression on this race. They caught her on a bad day. She's like, if you remember our last confrontation, you will release your prisoners at once. Because I'm Minbari, bitch. Remember how we beat you all the way back to your house last time? Remember that? And they're like, oh, you want us to release our prisoners? Okay. You didn't specify how. And they just open the door. And they're like, oh my God, they're just sending them out into space. Kill them. But luckily, Sheridan and the Narn guy don't die because
Sheridan realizes they're probably distracted while they're being attacked. And so this is the perfect time to run out into the hallways.
Oh, yeah. And they punch one of the aliens. One of the aliens is walking around like, doo-doo-doo, and he just punches him and knocks him out. And they're like, oh, okay, look, there's an airlock or something over there. And so they go run and jump inside of it.
Yeah. Survival pod.
Yay, they get saved. And then they're back on Babylon 5. And the Narn guy is in med lab. They're like, oh, how is he, Doc? Well, he lost a lot of blood. He's got 4 broken ribs, but he'll make it. Jesus, how hard did he hit him?
Sheridan, don't hold back.
What about Ramirez? And Dr. Franklin's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Why are you mad, bro? I mean, you're mad because it's not great when anybody dies. I get that. But also, he has been so much more blasé about, I mean, the Centauri Emperor died. And he was like, he's dead.
And had like personal conversations with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't owe him money.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he made it back, but we lost him. Radiation poisoning. Sheridan's like, I mean, it doesn't make sense, does it? Why I'm still alive and he was just a kid. It's not fair. Was he? He looked like he was like 45. He did not look like he was a child.
But this is in the 90s, so.
What about the other pilots that died?
But Ramirez had a chance.
Okay.
He actually made it back.
Okay, because the other ones got blown up. So what about them? We're not going to talk about them. We're not going to talk about the ones that just got blown up in space?
Nope.
Okay. You know what they need? Drones.
Mm.
You need to be able to set a Star Fury to just go and investigate an area. And you can operate it remotely and then bring it back.
Yep.
I guess there would be a communications delay depending on the distance.
They have real-time communications between Babylon 5 and Earth.
I know. I'm just going to put a pin in that.
Put an Ansible on that.
I'm just going to put a pin in that because it doesn't make sense that they have real-time communication. We've had that discussion, though, because you said it went through hyperspace. And then I said even hyperspace takes time.
The speed of light in hyperspace may be different. Maybe a lot faster.
That's fair. Okay. I'm going to go on a limb here.
And it's like the Nether in Minecraft.
Okay, it's foreshortened.
It's condensed.
Yeah.
So physics in hyperspace is probably different.
Yeah, we called it the Nether last time too because it's the right color.
Yep.
And Dr. Franklin just goes, "Death never is." And then Sheridan walks out, and Kosh is like, he's like, "Hi,
I want
Kosh."
you to know that dream was a vision.
I know. He just goes, "You have always been here," and then he. I want every time Kosh walks to just go.
Yeah, skittering.
Like he has little crab legs underneath there.
Even though it's a skateboard.
He's definitely on a skateboard. And then Sheridan and Haig are in his quarters.
And this is the real lore drop of this episode.
2 actually important things three. The shit that happens to Delenn matters. The Sheridan dream matters. And then this moment right here.
Yep.
Because he goes to stand and Haig is like, nah, dog, sit down. You got pokey holes in your face. You definitely had a hard moment. We don't know what else they did to him.
That's true.
Yeah. They made him beat people up. He had to break some Narn ribs. He's had a hard day, okay? And he's like, I was really hoping to board the Agamemnon, but I guess they had to go.
I didn't get to play with my friends before they had to go home.
And he's like, well, there's always a crisis somewhere. And then he goes, boop, boop, and turns on this jammer. He's like, there, now we can talk freely.
That Garibaldi takes control of immediately.
Oh, that's nice. Well, Garibaldi's not there right now.
Well, right.
Later,
right.
when
but
he,
later,
yeah,
Garibaldi has it.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't know if the room was bugged, but I didn't want to take any chances. And this is the plot twist. Plot twist, which I just read. I just read The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, and there's a bunch of plot twists throughout it, but kind of towards the end. And each time they make a comment about plot twists. And so one of them says, a good plot twist should be like lightning. It strikes from heaven completely unexpectedly. This is a bit unexpected. I got to admit, I totally forgot. I totally forgot this plot twist happened, which is Sheridan is a plant. He's a mole.
Yep.
He was deliberately placed on Babylon 5 because on paper, he looks like a regular warmongering
which
general.
we discussed. On paper, he looks like the kind of person that somebody would put into place that wants Babylon 5 to fail.
Right. Not just fail, but be more militaristic. Fail at its job of being neutral and peace.
Right.
Yeah. But that he is actually a cool dude. Like he's actually a reasonable diplomatic fellow.
Yeah.
And yay, we were right. Because he's like, it's been 6 months. I was starting to feel like I'd been abandoned.
So it wasn't an accidental appointment.
Yeah.
That, they just happened to pick somebody who looks militaristic on paper, but is actually like...
Oh, no, it was fully intentional.
Good dude. It was...
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hand-selected.
Right.
By the people who wanted to fool the ones who want it to be more militaristic.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's been there for 6 months and no one's come to debrief him. Nobody's come to talk to him about it. And he's like, I was starting to feel like you guys had just sent me out here and I really wasn't doing anything.
And this is why he didn't tell Ivanova.
Right.
That Haig was coming.
Right. And Haig goes, I'm sorry. The fucking president died. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't been out here in 6 months. I've been dealing with a little bit of stuff, like the president dying. So it's taken a while to sort things out. But like, what have you found out? And he's like, oh, they're all loyal to Earth. Is that what you mean? Like they're all loyal to Earth. Ivanova, Garibaldi, Franklin, all the rest of them, they're good people, General. And I don't like spying on them.
Right.
And he's like, you're not a spy. You're more like a trap door spider. What is that? That didn't clear. What?
That's not a good metaphor.
When you open a trap door and there's a spider there and you're like, well, shit. And you have to sweep the cobweb out before you can go down. What is a trapdoor spider? Is that a phrase I don't know? A trapdoor spider?
Oh, I'm not familiar with it as like an actual common phrase, but you're there I think a trapdoor spider means you're a spy, but you're a spy there to catch somebody, not just relay information.
A trapdoor spider is an actual kind of spider.
Yeah.
They're a burrowing spider that construct silk-lined tunnels.
You didn't know? Okay, I knew
with
about
a hinged camouflage trapdoor at the entrance.
Yeah, I knew what a trapdoor spider was.
Oh, okay.
And so it's camouflaged. The door, the lid of its cave is camouflaged.
Maybe that's what he means.
And when something walks around, it can lift it up and peek out and jump out from its hidey hole.
Okay.
And catch things by surprise.
Well, maybe that's what he's going for. I don't know. It's so weird. He's like, Santiago understood the importance of Babylon 5. He knew that if anything happened to him, President Clark would appoint some jarhead to run this place. And we both know you're not that, but from your record, you look like that. And we're hoping that means he'll leave you alone, which is what you need you to what we need. And Sheridan's like, okay, but why though? But why? He's like, well, not everyone back home believes that Santiago's death was an accident. He's like, oh, what luck. Not everybody here believes it was an accident either.
So the Psycor-backed assassination theory is known to Sheridan.
Right. And Haig is like, lately I've been having some real second thoughts myself. Really? You weren't having second thoughts already? It's the most obvious assassination plot I've ever seen in my entire life.
Right. The vice president gets off the ship because he's going to me.
Yeah. I think I got the flu or something. And then all of a sudden, it blows up and oh no. And President Clark is like, yes, so sorry. Anyway.
All the critical frequencies were jammed.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Coincidence? Sometimes when people are no longer towing the party line the way you want them to, they have to be taken out dramatically so that someone else can be put in their place.
Yep.
In sci-fi shows on Babylon 5. He's like, not entirely, though. They probably had some support from within the military because Sheridan's like, is it a military coup we're talking about here? Was it an assassination? And he's like, they probably had help from the military, intelligence community, Home Guard, but they're not the ones calling the shots. And Sheridan's like, fucking Psy-Corps. You're like, yeah, probably. Everyone knows it's Psy-Corps.
Everyone knows it's Psy-Corps, but the trick is proving it.
Yeah, and he's like, we have to proceed very carefully back home because if we go too far, too fast, we'll be noticed. But Babylon 5, on the other hand,
has some autonomy.
Yeah, you have in military intelligence and civilian resources, and a lot of a river of shit flows through here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you keep your ear to the ground, you could probably pick up a lot. And he goes, since they think you're on their side, they won't pay as close of attention. And he's like, you're making an awfully big assumption that I'm on your side. Oh, but you started the conversation with going, finally someone's here to debrief me. I started to feel like I'd been abandoned out here. I thought we already knew you were on our side. He's like, what makes you think I won't turn you in the second you walk out? Which is fair. Like, what if I'm a double spy? What if I'm a spy for you and a spy for them? And then I'm also a spy for, like, I don't know, somebody else. Like, I could be running a lot of cons right now. No, you can't, Sheridan. Look me in the no, you can't. There are people who could. It's not you, brother. And Haig is like, a soldier's record tells a lot about a person. Not just what he's done.
But his record makes him look like a hard-nosed jarhead.
Well, he says not just what he's done, but why and how.
Yeah.
He said, you have an uncommon failing for someone in your position, Captain. You're a patriot.
A soldier's record tells a lot about a person. Not just what he's done, but how he's done it and why. And you have an uncommon failing for someone in your position, Captain. You're a patriot. You believe as I do that when we put on this uniform, we took a solemn vow to protect Earth against threats from outside and from within.
And you believe that when you put on that uniform, you took a solemn vow to protect the Earth.
Yeah.
Kind of like higher ranking members of the military only swear to protect the Constitution.
Right.
Exactly like that. Not anyone else, just the Constitution. And he goes, it's a difficult decision. You risk losing your entire career if you say yes. But now that you've had a chance to evaluate your staff and decided who you can trust, know that if you bring them in, you're also putting them at risk.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheridan goes, and it's true, no good deed goes unpunished. He goes, not much reward for being trustworthy, is it? And he's like, no, this isn't about reward. This is not going to be that.
Yeah.
He's like, it's time we stopped reacting and started acting. He goes, in 20 minutes, I'm getting on a ship and I'm going back for Earth. And I'll try to feed you as much information as I can when I can. But I need your answer. Are you with us or not? And he's like, yeah. Yeah. Actually, I don't think he answers on screen because we just cut to him calling everybody there out of bed, and it's Ivanova, and she rings the doorbell, and he goes, yes. And she goes, what do you mean, yes? It's fucking me. Who else could it be? And so she comes in, and they're all there like they've just gotten out of bed, and they're all wearing black bodysuits, which means Ivanova changed out of her purple satin, whatever she normally wears at home. And he's like, okay, you better sit down, Susan, because ever since the death of President Santiago, shit's been going hinky back home. You know it. I know it. And we've stood by too long. And it's time to change.
Yep.
And I love this whole scene. But my favorite part is that Sheridan is supposed to be in his pajamas just like everybody else is. But when he walks around the corner while he's giving his speech, he's still wearing his spit-shined patent leather dress shoes. He's not
really comfy, okay?
He's not even barefoot in his own house. And he's wearing his, like, shoes, like his officer shoes. He says, quietly, discreetly, an inch at a time, and for now, within the rules, we're gonna start doing stuff. He goes, we have to do something or risk losing everything we hold dear. Now, we're gonna have some help, but the bottom line is, if anything goes wrong, we're on our own. So if you guys want to leave now, before you leave, before you hear anything you'll have to report, go off. Nothing will be said. It's fine. And they're all like, hell yeah, we're in. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Garibaldi's like, I knew the president was assassinated.
I knew it.
Finally. Someone finally believes me. And Ivana was like, I mean, yeah, I never did know when to butt out. Of course we're with you. Wherever this goes, however it ends, we are with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put, and so it begins. Because this is their first step towards being all alone in the night, I guess, which is probably where the chapter title, the episode title comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is their first step on what will be a much larger
more political
We
campaign?
are in this for each other. We are not necessarily, we are in this for the good of Earth, whether that means we are in compliance with Earth Force or not.
Right.
That we don't necessarily think that Earth Force is the final say on what is good for Earth and what is not.
Yep.
Just the idea of having this plot line that at the time must have seemed so far-fetched. The idea of there is a rot at the center of our government. And it has finally taken over all of it's spread from the inside out.
And Clinton was president at this time.
Yeah. And now we need to stop it. And it's us against the world.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it must have felt like, oh, right. Okay. Because, I mean, what's the worst thing that happened in the Clinton administration? He coerced a young Monica Lewinsky to do a thing that she was very unfairly vilified for.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the worst possible thing that could have happened. And then now to have this bit of story sent forward in time to a moment where it feels so relevant is really something.
Yep.
Yeah. Just gestures wisely. Look at this shit. I mean, not all of our listeners are American, so it's really hard to describe the mindset for people who are conscious, awake.
Yeah.
Right now in this country.
Anyway.
Sorry. We try to keep it light, try to keep it fun. Everybody needs that sometimes. And then sometimes it hits you. And sometimes you go to an estate sale and you find a Dracula knife, which is what we just did. Not to pivot or anything. But yeah, that kind of made my day. It was middle of nowhere, very Midwestern, mostly ducks, lamps shaped like fishing poles, and then a knife room.
Fishing, knife collection, some hunting stuff, and some very well done plumbing with.
Oh, yes. Matt was in love with their basement plumbing situation. He was like, look at how nice and organized this all
with
is.
Tagged pipes.
Oh.
So many.
You're like, that's going to be my basement someday.
Valves.
That's going to be my basement someday. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess we'll just leave it here. We live for the one.
We would die for the one.
Until next time, friends.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm in.
Ditto. Hey, I never did know when to butt out. We're with you, Captain. Wherever this goes, however it ends, we're with you.